medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
How about that? 16 minutes after 3 o'clock. Are we ready for a special Wednesday edition?
This is going to be
wild.
The
Lakers are sold, Jack. Sedano and Kap are on for a very special Wednesday edition as we react live from LA Live as the Bus family has decided it is a final. And they are selling their 66% of the Los Angeles Lakers to the Dodgers, essentially.
That's right.
Reaction all afternoon until maybe 8 or 9 p.m. tonight as we continue broadcasting from LA Live. Sedano and Kap right now. Then Beto and Andy Kamenetsky at 6 p.m. The whole gang's here. Producer Lindsay Baseball. Funch Lova, producer of the Lakers broadcast, by the way. How about that, Funch?
Yep. Works
got
out
a whole
perfectly.
new thing. Plus Young D, producer D, the kids in the back, the social team, and George Sedano live from Tornado Alley.
Not the usual Tornado Alley, but we got one here for sure.
Yeah, when I said to Kap, Tornado, he's like, in Indianapolis? With a question mark.
Yeah. I mean, if you would have told me Oklahoma City, I'd be like, yeah, of course. But Indianapolis.
Yeah, no, we still have no Wi-Fi, no TV. The elevators are sort of kind of working.
With no Wi-Fi, how are you connecting to us?
The tower Lindsay gave me months ago.
Lindsay,
beautiful.
Preparation.
The 5G tower.
That's preparation. And it's working, which is also very impressive.
Lindsay nailed this thing, okay? It has been a godsend, this thing, me around the country.
So we may bank calls today on this, 877-710-ESPN.
Oh, yeah. I mean, today I get it.
I know. I figured you would. Momo's going to join us at 3:30. Keyshawn Johnson. LA's native son. Yeah, the son of Troy. Grew up around Showtime era. Friends with Magic, Buck Johnson. He's going to join us around 4:30. Plus, we're working on some other special guests. Yeah. And you. You meaning Cappy.
Well, I'll tell you guys, George, just some initial reaction. I think you said it well during Super Crosstalk. You know, there's always been little rumors out there about the Lakers possibly selling. And Dave McMenamin said it well, that when Mark Walter bought into the Lakers at 20% back in 2021, that's kind of like an indication of we've found our most natural acquirer and we're in business with this person now from a minority stakes standpoint. So Dave brings that up. But what you said was rumors have been out there, but who knew that this was, to use your word, imminent? My answer to that question is probably nobody other than those that were in the room that were putting this deal together. So when this news is announced today, it is a shocking development because don't you feel like this sort of happened in the snap of a finger? I'm sure it didn't. I'm sure it's taken months, if not years, to put this deal together. But there weren't some recent rumblings ooh, there's something going on. So
yeah,
imminent.
well, about a couple of days ago, I heard something like I said during Crosstalk, but it wasn't with the urgency of it's happening now. You know what I mean? It was this is probably the off season. It happens, and that's the way it was framed to me. This is going to be the off season. This likely happens, and I was like, all right, cool. So I didn't, but no way in hell did I think within less than a week that it would be something that would actually happen.
You know, it's really interesting. In 2014, when the Clippers were sold, and you remember the time, I'm sure everybody here remembers the time where Donald Sterling was caught up in this controversy, and we don't need to revisit it all. But the point is that when Steve Ballmer bought the Clippers value may have been, let's just, for argument's sake, call it $1.2 billion, right? But Ballmer walked through the door with his checkbook open and went, I'll give you $2 billion if we can close the deal right now.
Right.
And they closed the deal.
He found the extra $800 million in his couch cushions.
Yeah. And so the thing is that when he bought the Clippers, make no mistake, that changed everything in ownership in every sport, George. Every sport. Because you found a multi-billionaire who walked in and overpaid. And when he overpaid, what that meant is that every other franchise in every other sport went through the roof. Like, for example, in 2017, the Carolina Panthers sold, and that's considered small market, obviously, in the NFL, regardless of whether or not it's an NFL team. It was like $4 billion, something like that. And so even the Broncos a couple years ago sold for, I think it was $6 billion. So the thing is that
no, it's 4 and change,
okay,
4.5.
So these numbers keep elevating and elevating, and that's why, just as a side note, if ever you have a chance to buy into a pro sports team, that's the beauty of it. No,
Let's
seriously.
get right on it, Cap. You and I put together an investment group.
You guys, you giggle, but hold on. You see, you guys are not in the know on this kind of stuff, clearly.
Yeah, I don't have an extra $1 billion lying
like
around.
buying a horse?
No, it's not. Actually, it's not. And it's not like you need $1 billion. That's the point.
The horse.
That's the point. You see, now.
Hey, I have one share of the Green Bay Packers.
No,
hey, nice.
I know what you're going to refer to, Cappy.
In case we were worried about being too serious, then Cappy gives us that.
No, what I'm getting at is this. What I'm getting at is.
Like the professional women's soccer league, things like that, the smaller sports.
It's not even that. What it is now, as private equity has moved into professional sports, there are opportunities for people that don't have $1 billion, don't have $10 million. If you happen to have $250,000 and you wanted to buy a piece of an NBA
Cappy,
team,
most people don't have.
I understand that, but here's
but not available.
I understand, but let me make my point. Here's my point. My point is very simple: that buying a pro sports team, whether you're doing it like this or you're doing it on a much smaller scale, there is literally no greater investment on planet Earth right now than owning a pro sports team.
Thank you.
Whatever. Go ahead. Go ahead, George. I don't know what I'm talking about here today. This is something that's a little out of my realm, so I'll hand it off. Go ahead. I'm going to stay out of this because I don't understand this kind of stuff. So go ahead.
No one is saying you don't.
No, I
understand
know you're not. I know you're not.
business.
I know you're not. But go ahead.
Oh my. 323. The Lakers are sold to the Dodgers. If you didn't know,
Time check.
owning a sports franchise is a pretty good business. And Jeannie Buss has billions now, $10 billion for her 66%. So that makes the overall evaluation. Cappy, you want to do the math?
Nope.
Okay. So the overall evaluation would then be around $15 billion. And by the way,
that's not even close to right.
Why wouldn't it be?
Because the valuation of the team was $10 billion. That's what they're buying.
Right.
So they're buying the valuation.
See, I knew I would bait you right
buying
back.
the difference based
on
what
you just got it wrong because you actually don't know what you're dealing with.
I don't.
Why would we? It's all brand new.
But I do know that owning a sports franchise is good business.
It is. And if you're Jeannie Buss, it's great sports business because your dad bought the Lakers for under $100 million.
Right.
And now you've just sold the business for $10 billion. So think about that. And by the way, now that the Lakers have sold for $10 billion, whatever team might be next. Seriously. Think about what the Rams value
but
might
you're
be.
talking about one of the greatest brands in all of sports.
No doubt about it.
But I think if what you're saying is other teams will be measured up against this based on their ability to garner a fan base or a brand recognition. Yeah, I of course they all are correlated together. But yeah, I mean, there's probably, maybe the Dallas Cowboys, right? Like the Yankees.
Right.
There's probably not very many that will come close to this valuation.
Not yet. But in the next few years, this will be now the gold standard. When the Boston Celtics sell for $6.1 billion, at the time of the sale, which by the way wasn't that long ago, you probably figure, well, then the Lakers are at least what, $7 billion? But again, this is an opportunity.
I thought at least 8.
Okay, so let's just use 8 as an example. But now you say, let's find somebody who's so ultra wealthy, who wants this asset, who's willing to overpay for it. And that, to me, is a lot of why Jeannie would do this now. Chris, believe it or not, you actually did say something very interesting, which is they did really ultimately just sell to the Dodgers. You know,
that. And here's the other part. There's no real estate involved unless El Segundo comes with it, which it may.
I'm sure it
does.
The
Lakers practice
I'm sure
facility.
it does, yeah.
But there's no real estate. It's not like they own it. They don't own Crypto.
They don't own
the
arena. Right.
And they still got $10 billion for 66%.
Because of what George is talking about, which is the brand.
Yes.
It's the assets themselves may actually not be quite as valuable, but the brand is so ultra valuable. And that's where this is why, if you're Mark Walters, this is why you're the Dodgers, you want total control of this market when it comes to sports. You know, you've spent all the money you did for the Dodgers. You've won 2 World Series. You're putting tons of money into the franchise. You have a piece of the Lakers. Let's take the Lakers over too. And I actually thought, George, something that I know you've been critical of over the years is the Lakers not necessarily having everything that all of their competitors have because they choose to run their business like a family operation because that's what they are. But now, with this level of ownership and this level of wealth infused into the Laker franchise, think about all the things that Dave McMenamin just talked about. What you can do in scouting, what you can do in analytics, what you can do in coaching staff, what you can do in facilities and coaches. It's amazing.
Let's get to that part because I think that's what the general fan would rather hear about. Not to say dismiss the business aspect of it because I do think you illustrated it perfectly, but I don't think that's necessarily relatable to what the guy Joe fan who follows the LA Lakers. They want to know how this is going to affect the product on the floor. And I think to your point, McMenamin started to allude to that, and I think we can dive into that a little further and even ask some questions because I don't think we have all the answers certainly either at this point.
And are people sad,
but we can make
George?
some assumptions.
Are there fans out there that are sad by this? That it's
sure,
no longer
I would say there's a
business?
level of melancholy. Yeah, we can get into that certainly as well.
How about the opposite?
There's any question.
How about the opposite?
Or
Which
both,
is people saying,
right.
hey, you know what?
Two
it was
things
time.
can be true, Cappy.
Ooh, it was time.
2 things can't be true. You know what can also be true at 327?
Tell me.
Sedano's going to tell us about our friends at LAX.
Yeah, LAX, where changes are arriving daily. The People Mover train beginning to roll out as early as next year. Part of LAX's ongoing investment to transform and improve your travel journey. The People Mover trains will quickly move guests between their terminals and our new consolidated rental car center. Metro trains and buses for those of you that don't want to drive to LAX. And for those that do want to drive, the economy parking and the Kiss and Fly lot. So the trains will make it simple and fast to get to your LAX destination. 10 minutes or less round trip. Very simple. And the trains will depart every 2 minutes beginning in early 2026. To learn more, go to this website, lawa.org/ESPN. That's lawa.org/ESPN.
And you'll never forget the day you heard the Buss family is selling the Los Angeles Lakers. ESPN Shams Charania is reporting that the buyer is Mark Walter, the CEO of TWG Global, and the price is $10 billion. We're talking about it on your home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
Hey guys, have you checked out the all-new Park West Bicycle Casino? Just 9 miles from downtown LA and near the 710 freeway, it's completely reimagined with new ownership, renovations, and upgraded amenities. We're also home to California's largest card room jackpot ever, $3.7 million. New players score $30 in match play when they say, Cappy sent me. Park West Bicycle Casino, come see what everyone's talking about.
Please gamble responsibly. Problemgambling.ca.gov. 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGR 001291. GAR 001292. BSIS license number 1358.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text STAPLE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text STAPLE to 321-321. That's STAPLE to 321-321.
Yes, indeed. 3:30 in Southern California with Rick Astley. On this day in 1988, the #1 hit, Together Forever. Many people thought he wasn't white when they first heard it. It was a big hit. Then they saw the video and went, wow.
Nice trench coat.
Nice trench coat.
Good hair.
It is Sedano and Kap. Sedano is in Indiana. He'll be back with us in just a moment. But we are reacting live to the news that Genie Bus and the Bus family, they're selling out. Oh, pot this up for the hook. Let's pot this up for the hook.
Go. Look at that. That looks like a happy dance. That looks like a guy who's
I am in a better mood than I was earlier.
Yeah, me too.
Because now we got late-breaking information.
It is exciting.
The Bus family is out. They are selling for a mere $10 billion. They're 66% of the Los Angeles Lakers. Mark Walters and the group that owns the Dodgers are in. And they will take over. Now, do we think it's like taking over in 2 months?
Well, let me tell you how I just want to say, this is how I read the deal.
Okay.
So if the value of the team is $10 billion and Mark owns 20%, therefore he owns 2 of the 10, right? If he's buying the next 66%, then he's actually buying in at the valuation of $10 billion.
Oh, so you don't think it's $10 billion for her piece. It's $10 billion in all.
I would say $6.6 billion.
Okay.
So in other words, if the value of the team is $10 billion and she is selling, in theory, 66%, he's buying the 66% at a $10 billion valuation. Therefore, he's paying $6.6 billion, and now he would own 8.6 of the $10 billion. Does that make sense?
It does. So you're saying that each sibling is getting a bill?
I'm saying that, yeah, depending on how it's divided, they're going to bring in, again, just theoretically, and I'm not dealing with taxes and all this kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
But if $6.6 billion goes to the Bus family for their 66%, then the Bus family divides their $6.6 billion based on whoever's percentage is what.
I took AP Calculus in high school, and I still don't get it, but that's fine.
By the way,
I've done a lot of stuff to forget. Ramona Shelburne is going to join us in a few minutes. Shinana will come back.
Right.
So you're saying that he's not paying $10 billion for the 66%.
Right.
The evaluation is $10 billion in general. So are you saying that everybody's incorrect?
No, I'm saying that the value, they're selling the Lakers at a valuation of $10 billion. They're not selling the entire Laker franchise for $10 billion because there are other partners,
right? Like
the gentleman who owns the LA Times, Dr. Patrick, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but that gentleman owns a small percentage. There are a couple other people that own small percentages, and the overall valuation of the Lakers comes in at $10 billion. So whatever her percentage is, let's say she owned 50%, she'd be selling her 50% at $5 billion at a $10 billion valuation. Pretty impressive, huh?
I mean, sure. I'm impressed. 877-710-ESPN. We'll bang calls here in a moment. The reaction of the fans that are sad is interesting to me because so much of the Lakers story can't be told without Dr. Bus and building the Showtime era and the Forum and everything we've watched in docuseries and all this over the last few years. It's interesting to think about the Lakers not being a family business. And even though they only had 66%, I say only with a bit of a wink.
Yeah.
But so much of Genie and Dr. Buss and all of it, and then the era when we had other siblings running it, is part of the story of the Lakers. And now that's gone. Now, does that really matter? I remember being crushed when O'Malley sold the Dodgers to Fox.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Fox years were a disaster. And then we had a bigger disaster. And then ultimately that gave us way to the Guggenheims. And the Guggenheims were smart by getting Magic involved and a face we all knew as sort of the front man. And obviously that's been hugely successful. And by the way, Shohei Ohtani and all that.
But just real quick on that, you got to think that Magic, even though this hasn't been reported, I'm just kind of saying it out loud here. You got to think that Magic had something to do in the middle of all of this, don't you think?
I always feel that Magic's in the middle of all this stuff. Because he's such a brilliant businessman.
And he's got this relationship with Mark Walters and the Guggenheim Group, and he's a part owner of the Dodgers, and he's obviously royalty around the Lakers. And I just got to think that at some level, Magic's got his fingers in this thing somewhere, where maybe he made the introduction or maybe he helped broker the deal. It just seems like Magic's in the middle of something like this.
Well, I think, yes, he's in the middle of it, but also there is a part where if you're Jeannie Buss and you need to sell or you wanted to start hearing ideas about it, you knew the Guggenheims were the group to talk to.
Well, right. I mean, first of all, they're local and they're loaded. And they've already proven to be great owners. And it's interesting, too, because here's the thing. Mark Walter is a guy, you tell me, when was the last time you've seen Mark Walter? Like, Jeannie Buss is very visible, right? She sits courtside. She's seen. She's heard from. When was the last time you've seen or heard Mark Walter?
Shohei Ohtani.
That's the last time you've seen him at a press conference?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you see, here's my point. He's not hands-on in there every day, at least not to my understanding, and I've not done a ton of research, but he's kind of an under-the-radar. He's the money guy, but he leaves it to a lot of other people, certainly to run the Dodgers. Mark is the owner and the chairman, but Stan Kasten is listed as president and CEO. Andrew Friedman, president of baseball operations. Bob Wolf, chief operating officer. Lon Rosen, whose name came up earlier, is the chief marketing officer. So, unlike Jeannie, who's visible and out there, Mark Walter, not really that guy.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, I heard Mason ask this question, and Dave quickly corrected him. The spending of the money on players, because people, that Mason assumed that it was like, well, now they can go into the second apron, but you don't want to be in the second apron, honestly.
Explain that to me, what that means.
So the second apron, what happens is it actually hinders your ability to acquire players. That's why you don't want to be there. You could be there for like one season while you're chasing something great, you know what I mean? And you already have this amazing roster. Like the Celtics did for this year, like this past year, they thought they won a championship. They were going to try to repeat. So they brought the same group back. It was going to cost them $350 million in luxury tax, but it did hinder their ability to add players, because if you're over the second apron by rule in the NBA, you cannot use your mid-level exemption to sign players, which is a pretty valuable tool in adding to your roster. Usually veteran guys will take that, and you also can't do buyouts. So you don't really want to be there for very often. So for fans like Mace, who thought, oh, this would mean they're going to go into the second apron. No, you could be there like once in a while, and maybe for like one season if you win big and you want to keep it going, or if you're close and you want to keep it going. But you don't want to be there forever unless you really feel comfortable about your roster.
George, the Forbes valuation list, which, comes out every year, and I know a lot of us, I do. I love to watch this kind of stuff. What are the most, valuable teams and so on. Forbes last year, as I'm just looking this up, as of 2024, listed the Lakers' value at $7.1 billion.
Right.
So, of course, value is based on what somebody's willing to pay for an asset. And I find it really interesting that if you're Mark Walter and you've had this amount of success with the Dodgers, and team ownership is something that you and the Guggenheim Group are good at and are interested in acquiring more assets, that you would go and say, look, $7.1 billion, okay, that was last year. Let's just call it $8 billion. But I'm still willing to overpay, or I'm willing to look at a higher valuation to make this deal happen as fast as possible.
So to the finance of the deal, this from Dan Wokey of the LA Times just tweeted out.
Tell me.
It's a $10 billion evaluation per my understanding. Also, for Jeannie Buss to remain an operating governor, she'd need to represent a group that owns at least 15% under league bylaws. So essentially she's keeping 15%, that's 51%.
The family.
Yes. The way the trust is structured, he goes on, per my understanding, is that shares of ownership don't transfer to the Buss siblings' heirs after death. The ownership shares just go from being divided by 6 to, say, being divided by 5 and then 4 and so on and so on. That is interesting to your financial insight, Cap.
Well, it's listen, I'm fascinated by the story, George, from the beginning because I didn't see it coming. It was not like little murmurs, little rumors. Okay, fine. But this seemed to come from out of absolutely nowhere. Deals like this don't just come from out of nowhere. It's not like today Mark Walter called Jeannie and go, what do you think? Want to do this deal today? Yeah, let's do it. Great. Let's send out a tweet. This thing has to have been in the works for a very long time.
Yeah.
You don't do multi-billion-dollar deals
Dave basically
overnight.
said that, you could really go back to when he got involved back in 2021, right? Like that. I bet you that footprint was there already.
Right. If I had to take a stab, just a guess here, that when he put in to buy in at 21%, which, by the way, back then, let's just call the valuation $4 billion. When he bought in, I'm sure it was with some sort of right of first refusal that when you're ready to sell the majority, I get the first crack at it. That's just, that would just be standard for multi-billionaires doing these kinds of deals.
All right, let's bang a call here real quick. Jim in Palos Verdes. Jim in Palos Verdes, you're on 710
Hello,
ESPN.
Jim.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I'm just going to make a quick comment. I'll bet you when it all comes out said and done, whatever the numbers are, something like 90% of the acquisition price is going to be deferred. What do you think?
Well, I mean, obviously we know what the Dodgers have done in terms of deferring contracts, but
I don't know if the Buss family will go with the deferment.
Well, I'll say this. I mean,
might not be a bad idea.
The Minnesota Timberwolves were basically bought on layaway for over a several-year period. You can't defer it like forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the Celtics, I believe, too, is an installment plan of payments over several years.
That's amazing.
I don't think it would be longer than that. If I would be surprised.
To your
by that.
point, Cap, maybe we all can afford if we're gonna, go on a payment plan.
Well, again, I'll just finish. I'll finish the point.
Saying.
No, but I will just finish this point. Seriously, there are several groups around the country now that will buy a percentage of any sports franchise. Say, for example, let's just use the Lakers as an example. George, if the valuation of the franchise was $10 billion and somebody said, well, I want to buy 10%, okay, great, that's $1 billion. But then you take that $1 billion and you actually go subdivide it amongst people who want to put in $250 here, $500, $1 million, but nobody who's putting in like $50 million. So those groups now exist. There are several of them around the country. And if you're somebody that is wealthy and says, I want to buy a small piece of a franchise, but I don't want to put in $1 billion, but $250,000 sounds pretty good. Your $250, when they sell it at 4 times, now all of a sudden your $250 turned into $1 million. It's a great investment.
I have a question, and I'm trying to understand this because my first reaction when I saw this is like, oh, damn, Lakers can actually go in this offseason competitive, being able to try to go out and get guys. But knowing that their contract and what they're able to offload on and be able to acquire someone, like the biggest storyline is the Lakers need to get a big man. They need to get this type of guy in order to enhance the roster. But those expiring contracts, it was around $60 million. So the whole second apron and stuff like that, everyone's thinking that, okay, we can go out here and spend unlimited money and get guys. So going into this offseason, that's not necessarily the case then, right?
No, and also baseball doesn't have a salary cap or a salary structure even, to be honest with you. There's a floor, and that's it. They only have a salary floor, and if you don't spend to the floor, you have to spend to that. But that's all that baseball has as far as restrictions on salary. So that's why the Dodgers can spend whatever they want. That's not the case in the NBA.
Right. In other words, like if you thought, well, hey, wait a second, maybe the Lakers could go out and get Giannis and they could sign him to a $500 million contract and they could defer, $480 million of that $500 million. Now, that doesn't sound like that can happen in the NBA.
Correct.
But, George, what I would like you to do coming back here in a moment is explain the apron, because Richard Jefferson made a point on a broadcast recently that no team could be competitive and win a championship without getting into the apron. And I think we sometimes take for granted that all of our listeners.
We're about to see one of that's not true necessarily. Okay. I mean, because one of these teams is going to win the championship and they're not in the aprons.
I think we take
they're not in the second apron.
I think we take for granted that all of our listeners understand how the NBA is structured and the cap and the apron. So let's get into that next. But first, Cappy, tell us about our friends at Ocean Subaru Fullerton.
Yeah, listen, I want to say to everybody, have you made your summer plans yet? You know, kids are out of school, and now you're thinking about maybe a little family vacation this summer, and maybe that means that you're going to be hitting the road. Well, if you want to see America in, a way that is just beautiful, which is from the road, Ocean Subaru of Fullerton can help. Because if you're taking down a trip down the coast, you get into that brand new 2025 Subaru Crosstrek with 2.9% financing for 48 months, since we're doing a lot of math and business talk today. That's right. Only 2.9% financing for 48 months on a brand new Subaru Crosstrek. Or let's say you're going to be hiking a scenic mountain and you're going to be in that new 2025 Subaru Outback with just 3.9% financing for 72 months. So listen, I'm throwing a lot of numbers your way, and all this story about the Lakers and the sale, a lot of numbers being thrown out. But for complete details, visit oceansubaruoc.com or just come on down to Ocean Subaru. It's on Euclid. It's in Fullerton. You can't miss it. It's right off the freeway. Wherever your journey takes you, it starts here at Ocean Subaru. So listen, come on down, see Omar and his entire team, and let's get you into that brand new Subaru at Ocean Subaru of Orange County of Fullerton, oceansubaruoc.com.
And you'll never forget the day you heard the Bus family is selling the Los Angeles Lakers. ESPN Sham Charania is reporting that the buyer is Mark Walter, the CEO of TWG Global, and the price is $10 billion. We're talking about it on your home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Flashy discounts, gimmicky sales? Don't fall for it. At Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, we give you honest, wholesale pricing all year long. No bogus markups, no tricks, just the best floors at the best prices. Call 866-62-FLOOR. No sale beats wholesale. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, check them out at hernandezwholesaleflooring.net or call them at 866-62-FLOOR.
For the best prices on hardwood, carpet, and more, call 866-62-FLOOR.
Hey guys, you feel it? The days are getting longer, the sun is getting warmer. Looks like our SoCal summer is here. And you know, here in California, we are all about choosing chill. From hitting the beach to the best hiking trails to going all out to support our teams, one thing really ties it all together: enjoying an icy cold Coors Light with great friends. Pick up icy cold Coors Light near you or get it delivered to your door today. Visit CAChooseChill.com to learn more. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly and cheers with icy cold Coors Light.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
348, Sedano and Cap on a historic day in L.A. Not just L.A. sports, but L.A. overall. But first, on this day in 1977, the number one hit, Fleetwood Mac, Dreams, off that Yacht Rock playlist. Also, today's International Sushi Day. Oh, yeah. I was craving sushi today, but then I said, I'm going to be good. I'm not going to get out of control. Because today definitely could have been a day. I talked to Sedano. He kind of walked me off the ledge.
He did?
Because I was going to go big today. Mm-hmm. But enough of that.
You did pretty good.
I thought about sushi, but I realized I have a rule, hard, fast rule. No sushi where I'm not near a body of water.
That's actually a good rule. That's a good rule. I don't think they have great sushi in Indiana. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do. They do have tornadoes, and we're hoping that Sedano stays safe.
Yeah, I didn't know that there were tornadoes. I mean, I guess it makes sense. They are in the middle of the country. But I didn't realize you had a tornado coming your way, man.
Yeah, me neither until it happened.
Lakers are being sold. The Buss family is selling their interest, but Jeannie Buss will reportedly remain the governor of the team. They are going to the Dodgers owner, which is not completely stunning, but a little surprising on the timing. We're talking about it, 877-710-ESPN. I want to get to Sedano breaking down the business side of the NBA and why so many people are reacting to like, oh my gosh, the Guggenheim have so much money and this fixes everything. But it may not. But first, what's the call up there, Cappy?
You want calls?
Yeah, let's just bang a few here.
You want to take a couple of calls?
Let's bang them.
Here's Mike checking in Rialto. Hey, Mike. What's going on, man?
Hey, yeah, I wanted to find out what you thought about with Jeannie no longer being majority owner. Would her staff, like Polinka and Rambis, be out as well?
George,
well, it won't be her decision.
Right.
And Pelinka just signed a new deal. I don't know about the Rambises.
Yeah, so I would be surprised. Yeah.
But think about it like this. I mean, if you think, hey, look, the new owners of the Lakers have very, very, very deep pockets, and they can do things that can improve the organization. If somebody makes an evaluation that we think we can get a better general manager, whoever that may be or not be, well, we don't want to fire this guy. We would owe him, I'm giving a number, $10 million. Well, I mean, the Dodgers can eat contracts all day long. So I would think that the Guggenheim Group in power would say, hey, look, we want somebody different, so we'll buy this person out. I mean, just to make a comparison, when the Denver Broncos were sold to the Walton family,
right?
Okay, they did not like the coaching staff that was hired by the previous ownership. So they fired everybody and paid everybody out. They didn't care.
All right, Cappy, let's talk to Momo. She's about to board a plane. Let's get. So, Momo, let me ask you a question. How can and you may not know the answer to all this because I understand everything. There's a lot of moving parts right now. But we just asked this question on the show a moment ago. How does Jeannie remain being the governor while not being majority owner? Like, how does that stuff work? Do you know?
Yeah, I think I do. She is sorry, I'm just getting on the plane here. She is in charge for the foreseeable future. She has a couple of years that I don't know how many years it is. I think it's more than one, more than two probably, maybe even three. I don't know how long that's written into the contract, but it's written in the contract that she is in charge for the foreseeable future. And I think Mark Walter was good with that. I mean, if you remember when he took over for the Dodgers, he kept Ned Coletti, he kept Don Mattingly, he keeps people in charge, and I think he really values her as a partner. And this has kind of always been part of the deal. Like, if you followed this closely and you followed those people closely, this deal closely, right, how the synergies between the Dodgers and the Lakers, part of him being a minority owner was just how comfortable he made the Buss family feel. He wasn't going to be a predatory minority owner. He was just there with the first right of refusal the whole time. And when they were ready, he was ready. And he even had said all along that he was fine, and he actually wanted them to stay integrated within the franchise for as long as they can.
That's actually good to hear. Just because, Chris, you were talking about this earlier. You know, the Buss family, they're the face of ownership of the Lakers. And when Dr. Buss died and Jeannie eventually took over, she has become, you know, she's the public-facing, visible ownership person. And so, you know, the money is great. Hey, I'll take the money, but I still want to be a part of it. And in a lot of businesses, when something is sold, they keep people on for a period of time to make a transition. It seems like that's kind of what's going on here, Ramona.
Yeah, and I think they value the brand equity that the Buss family has built up. Like, nobody knows how to keep the Lakers like the Buss family, you know? And you have to remember, when they sold that minority share, that was 2021. When they sold that, they didn't have to transfer Phil Anschutz' first right of refusal. They didn't have to do that. That was, you know, all negotiable. Phil sold it, obviously, but that could have been negotiated. The Buss family could have got that back, but they were comfortable giving Mark Walter and the Guggenheim and his group the first right of refusal because of how comfortable they all were. I mean, I see him at games all the time. He comes to Laker games too. I know it's for a guy from Chicago, he comes to a lot of Los Angeles sports games, right? And I think it's important. Now, I will tell you, I have heard that Luka Doncic did get a very, very short heads up on this. I haven't checked on LeBron yet. I assume he did as well. But I know that Luka did, maybe a couple hours. But when you think about why now, how, et cetera, I will say my general feeling was this was always going to happen. I'm a little surprised it happened as soon as it did. But as soon as I saw the $10 billion valuation and then this idea that she can stay on in her role for another few years for the foreseeable future, it all kind of makes sense, right? You know, your house isn't for sale until somebody puts $10 billion up in front of you, right? Yeah. And they have secured the future. They got the next face of the franchise. They secured Rob Pelinka to a long-term deal. And I think this is why this came about the way it did, because he does feel that level of I'm trying to find the right word, comfortability, but connection, comfortability. Like, this isn't just some random guy with billions of dollars. This is a guy that she's built a relationship with over the last 5 to 10 years.
Well, it's I think, and I don't know what you guys all think, I actually think this is a great thing. I mean, Chris, you brought up, like, you know, is there some sadness around, you know, the Buss family kind of giving up? I wouldn't call it control. I mean, just the majority ownership.
Well, it's been a family business for its time in Los Angeles for most of it.
Right, but I think just now, you guys tell me, George, Ramon, I'd love to hear what you guys think, but I just think now, like, fans want results as fast as possible. And when you see what the Dodgers have done and you know the wealth that is taking over this franchise, I actually think people are going to be really excited about it.
Yeah, and I think also, like, just remember when they took over the Dodgers, they took time to understand who was worth keeping, who was great, how things worked here. I mean, for whatever you want to say about how the Lakers ran their business, do they own the building, et cetera, like, this is the biggest brand in sports. You guys, I just want to keep fixating on this number. $10 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, like, and somebody I was texting with on my first flight, by the way, I have this connecting flight to Indianapolis, which is kind of insane timing. You guys can imagine how much I was just dying on that first flight, not being able to talk to anyone, but just like texting furiously for 2.5 hours. You know, if they went on the open market, like the Celtics were basically on the open market, I still think they get $10 billion. I don't think that's just an inside deal. I think.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, I agree as well. I don't think there's any doubt about that. That, you know, to me, I think that the thing that fans are going to care about is, and we kind of went through it earlier about, because Mace asked McMiniman when he was on about the apron, and they can go over the second apron, but we've kind of explained to people you kind of don't want to live there for very long because it hinders your ability to build a roster. But it does allow you to build an infrastructure similar to the Dodgers, right? We were talking about this, Momo, when you were filling in for Cappy a while back, how the Dodgers literally have like a person for every person, basically, within the organization. And now the Lakers have that ability because the one thing we probably have lamented is, because it's a family business, they don't necessarily have the means to just add this humongous staff. They keep it smaller than most teams of their ilk. But now that's definitely been blown out the window, I would imagine.
Yeah, but I think you have to remember, too, that it's not that this is a choice. It's not necessarily that they have to operate lean and mean. Rob Pelinka's organizational style, even when he ran his own agency, was to be kind of a lone wolf. Like, that's his organizational style. And there were some people in positions of power that were family members, right? Obviously, Joey and Jesse, and et cetera, have prominent roles in the organization. I think Jamie has a role as well, one of the sisters. She does the Lakers Foundation and some other community projects and stuff. And so I think that this is an interesting moment because Jeannie will have the opportunity to decide who's staying over the next few years. Like, she's running the organization. Mark Walter's going to own it, but Jeannie Buss is running the organization. That's what I want to keep stressing. I just tweeted this like 3 seconds before I came on your show, and it's for a number of years. So I think, like Mark, there's going to be a real synergy here, and I really think that It'll be interesting to see who stays, who she decides to keep, who goes, who they add. All of that is going to happen over the next couple of years. And I think the plan was always probably to do this in a few years. It came a little sooner than expected. But, kind of hard to say no to $10 billion.
Yeah. Yeah, and George, one thing you talked about, just in terms of increasing staff, should they decide they want to do that, or at least having the means to do it. It's kind of like that story we talked about a couple of weeks ago, how the Dodgers are really the only franchise in baseball that uses like 2 different charter flights. I'm trying to recall if it's like one for the players. Yeah,
it's 2 planes.
2 planes. One is for like the players, and I think one is for staff.
And the media.
Right, and so like they do something and spend money like nobody else in baseball. In theory, should they choose to run it the same way, they could probably do the exact same thing with the Lakers.
And so you're saying that Michael, John, and Trudell will be on the other plane?
Correct. They're no longer on the team plane anymore.
Cool.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of planes, Momo, when are you taking off?
What time is it? It's 5 o'clock here in Salt Lake, and I have no idea. 20 minutes, maybe. Like I had a really short connection.
Listen. I'm going to warn you now.
This flight is at 5:20.
Don't warn her this way,
No,
George.
He
Don't
needs
warn
to-
her.
no, he
Don't
needs to
warn her
warn
this
her.
way.
He
Come
needs
on.
She already
warn her.
knows. She and I have been texting already. So,
right.
when you get here, the hotel has no Wi-Fi. The TVs don't work because we're
good.
still dealing with the remnants of the storm.
What?
Yeah.
There's no Wi-Fi?
Yep, no
I
Wi-Fi.
don't care about the TV. That's fine. Yeah, but
I am very lucky that Lindsay packed me with months ago a 5G tower that I could take around with me,
Yeah.
and that's how I'm doing the show.
Wow.
Borrow George's tower.
I will say this.
Foolproof, Momo.
One more thing that I want you guys to look at, and I think this is a really important part of the story. $10 billion doesn't just come out of nowhere, and I think that just as Mark Walter did with the Shohei Ohtani deal, which a lot of it is deficit finance, or sort of deferred money, I think this deal is financial wizardry. I think it is unbelievably creative and brilliant from what I'm reading about it right now. And I'm sort of texting with a lot of people around the league about it. He's really good at what he does. There's a reason.
So, similar to like the Celtics and even the T-Wolves to a lesser extent, you're saying that this could be something that could be taken care of over time.
Yeah, I think he. I don't know, like he started this. It's not just Mark Walter, right? It's TWG Global, and they just entered about a month ago into a big investment alliance with something called Mubadala Capital. This is really unbelievable. I'm just reading about it and trying to wrap my head around. I'm not a financial wizard, but I do play one on TV sometimes.
Well, Cappy's been playing one on the radio the last hour. So.
Wait, you went to Stanford. You should be a financial wizard.
I mean, do you see what I do for a living? If I really got the most of my education, would I be doing this job?
Right. I mean, we'd be working with Mark Walter rather than working, talking about Mark Walter.
Oh, my God.
Right.
Seriously. This is a very interesting deal. I'll send you a press release, and let's see if you guys can decipher it.
Yeah, please
I don't
do.
think you will be able to.
Please send it to Cappy because he
Yeah.
definitely.
we
wants
want
to
Cappy
get
to
it.
figure
Let me
it
take a
out.
look at
Yeah.
it. Let me take a look. Let me analyze it.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm going to send it to you right
He's
now.
going to
Hold
get his
on.
protractor out.
He doesn't get the press releases, Momo. He doesn't get the releases because Bergman won't let him.
Bergman won't let me get Laker press releases.
No, I just texted it to you. I want you to read the first paragraph.
All right.
Tell me if
Okay, here it goes.
that looks like English to you.
This is instant analysis right
Real
here.
quick,
Here it
402
goes.
at KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Okay, here it is. TWG Global will commit $2.5 billion to Mubadala Capital and acquire a minority stake in the asset manager. TWG Global, a holding company led by investors Mark Walter, Thomas Tull, and Mubadala Capital, the asset management subsidiary of Mubadala Investment Company, have entered into a multifaceted, multi-billion-dollar collaboration that will enable each organization to enhance investments across multiple sectors and asset classes to drive long-term valuation. Duh. I mean, who doesn't get that?
A lot of shell companies. 403. Go ahead, Cappy.
Okay, I'll keep going. Under the strategic investment.
You might as well be CNBC over here.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Right. Yeah. Who's the guy like
so
Jim Cramer?
So basically, these different groups are banding together to create this superpower of equity, and they're using some of that capital to then acquire the Lakers. That seems like the simplest way to describe it, based off what I'm reading.
All right. Well, maybe we do need to call somebody from CNBC.
I think he put his sports assets into a holding company, and that holding company also owns a lot of other things, and then he
let me really read through this and take notes.
Capital raise. I don't know. It's really complicated. I might have to go in a second.
All right, Momo. Well, travel safe, fly safe.
See ya.
Sedano's got Wi-Fi if you need it. Just go into his hotel room, and he's got it in there.
If you need the tower.
I'll let you borrow Lindsay's tower.
Yeah, borrow Lindsay's tower.
I mean, you're saying I have a better chance of getting Wi-Fi on this plane than I do at the hotel?
Yes.
It would appear so, yes.
Wow.
Well, you can go up to his room and borrow the tower anytime you need it, Momo.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. I think it is. This came out of nowhere for me too, because I thought we were a few years away from it. But I think this is a lot's going to change, but not right away.
Okay. Well, thank you, Momo.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Bye,
all right.
See ya.
Bye,
Safe
Momo.
travels.
The great Ramona Shelburne.
I think she's right.
So I do want, we're going to do what you need to know quickly when we come back, but Cappy. Sedano, I still want you to unravel this a little bit about the aprons and all this stuff, because I still think it's important.
I'll put my apron on.
Beautiful. Sedano and Cap, a very historic day in Los Angeles, but from what Momo says, maybe not so much is changing. I guess we'll unravel.
Not immediately.
Right. Some of that next. You got something, Cap?
Well, I mean, just when it comes to aprons, I mean, I was thinking about DeAndre and his passion for Alice from the Brady Bunch.
Can you not be serious for one moment?
Me not be serious?
Yeah.
Or
you
you want him to be serious?
You mean to tell me like all the little non-serious stuff that you've been doing for the last hour, but I should be really serious?
We're trying to break it down.
Oh, wait. Here, you want me to be serious? Okay. As part of TWG's $15 billion equity raise, Mubadala Capital to anchor and lead the $10 billion syndicated investment. How's that?
Sedano and Cap continues next on 710 ESPN.
Hey guys, have you checked out the all-new Park West Bicycle Casino? Just 9 miles from downtown LA and near the 710 freeway, it's completely reimagined with new ownership, renovations, and upgraded amenities. We're also home to California's largest card room jackpot ever, $3.7 million. New players score $30 in match play when they say, Cappy sent me. Park West Bicycle Casino, come see what everyone's talking about.
Please gamble responsibly. Problemgambling.ca.gov. 1-800-GAMBLER. GGR 001291. GAR 001292. PSIS license number 1358.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Inheriting a home can be overwhelming. Between repairs and the time it takes to get everything ready to sell, it can feel like more trouble than it's worth. That's where Seller's Advantage comes in. One real customer who inherited a home shared their experience, and I quote, "We had an inheritance from a relative. It would have taken us a lot of time, money, and headaches to get the property in shape to sell. I heard about Seller's Advantage from a radio commercial and decided to give them a try. Their offer was reasonable, and we accepted it. They took care of all the physical effort and legal complexities. We closed within 3 weeks. I would highly recommend them to anyone," end quote. No matter what your reason for selling, call Seller's Advantage today at 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-2747, or use the website sellersadvantage.com for your free, no obligation cash offer. Sellersadvantage.com.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
4:08 on Sedano and Cap, your Wednesday afternoon. Big news. Thanks to Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change with our breaking news. The Lakers are selling. GD Bus is selling her 66%, essentially to the Dodgers, but there's a lot of details and a lot of accoutrement to this, which we're going to get into. But first, what you need to know.
brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are.
Take it away, president. Well, what you guys need to know, I don't know if you need to know it, but you might want to know it. Cap, you know you're a big Shador guy.
I love Shador.
Well, guess what? He just got busted for driving 101 miles an hour in a 60-mile-an-hour speed zone, and everyone is up in arms about it.
What do you mean, up in arms?
He's speeding in Cleveland.
I know, but when you say people are
Strongsville,
up in
actually,
arms.
which is
Oh,
very
Strongsville.
close to where my mother lives.
Okay.
So everyone's making a big deal out of it. I want to know what kind of car he's driving, because if it's like, a fancy car and he's like speeding it, let him live,
Let him live.
At 101 miles per hour?
Let him live.
If
He
you
plays for
hit
the
somebody
Browns.
else,
Let him live.
they're dead.
Time out. I
They're
just want you
dead.
guys to know that it's nothing like out here where there's actually cars driving on the freeway.
Lindsay, please don't try to defend driving 100 miles an hour.
I'm not defending it. I'm just saying,
She's saying let him live.
Everyone's acting like he committed a crime.
He
Well,
did.
it is. That is
Well, he did.
That's called a felony.
That is
Oh, okay.
That's driving. Let that young brother live, though.
Let him live.
Come on, let
In
that kid
Lambo.
live.
In that
Okay.
Lambo.
Okay.
Yeah.
If he hits somebody in a Lambo at 100 miles an hour, they're dead. That is what you need to know. Let him live.
Let him live.
That
All
brother
right,
live.
so Shinana, is Shinana there?
Yeah.
All right. So let's go in here because Cappy and I don't understand the apron stuff. And there's a lot of things that Momo brought up that I think we want to dive into about this deal. But first, for the people rooting, oh, yes, now the Lakers can spend lots of money and go past into the aprons. What does that exactly mean in the NBA structure?
All right, I'm going to try to do this.
For a fifth grader like me?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Here we go. Here
So
we go.
the NBA has a salary cap, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the salary cap has multiple layers to it that you like thresholds that you can go above it, okay? It has let's just use these very simple numbers as an example, okay? Let's say the salary cap is $10, okay? All right? That is the cap, all right? I can tell you, hey, you can spend up to $10, right? So the NBA allows you to go over the $10 for a number of reasons. There are exemptions, like what I just said, the mid-level exemption, like you can kind of work around that. You can go above it to pay your own players, right, as their salaries escalate over time, right? So let's start with the very basics of that, okay? Do you guys understand that? So in other words, if you are re-signing your own players, you don't know your salary cap is not $10 million. It's not $10 anymore. Now you can spend 12, 15, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You got that?
Yes, I got it.
Cappy?
I'm listening. Yep, keep going.
Okay. And then there are two aprons, okay? So let's keep the $10 figure as an example. Let's say the first apron, okay, is at, if it's $10 is the salary cap, let's say the first apron is at $15. Okay? So that means once you get to that first apron, okay, you're okay. You're still okay. You can still spend that money. But once you get to that first apron, you're in the luxury tax, which means for however many dollars you're going over the salary cap to the first apron, you are penalized financially, okay, from that $10 to $15, right?
Right.
For those extra $5 you spent, you have to give back a certain amount. I don't know the specific percentage at the moment off the top of my head, but I can look it up. You have to give back a certain percentage to the greater pot. Is that do you understand that?
You're paying back to the other owners that can't spend or won't spend that much?
You put it into the pot, right?
Okay.
It just goes into the pot and then gets dispersed amongst the owners who are not in the luxury tax. Do
And
you
that's
understand?
coming right out of ownership's
Correct.
pockets.
Correct.
Right, okay.
Now, the second apron, let's say if the first apron is $15, the second apron is $17. Okay? So if you spend from that $15, or excuse me, it's one more dollars, let's call it $16. So if you go over that $15 and you're at $16, now not only are you paying the money into the pot, but they have made it so that it will hinder your ability to add players. You can no longer use the exemptions that I mentioned, right? You can no longer aggregate salaries, which means you can't combine salaries in trades. It's got to be one for one. And it also means that you can't add buyout guys. Those are the three punitive ways that they allow you, or that they focus on to disallow you to build your roster, okay? So, and the reason they do that is for competitive balance, because the small market owners complain that if there's no second apron that becomes a competitive roster building imbalance, then what are we really doing here? Because these guys will just keep paying. You have to make it so punitive that it becomes a roster construction thing. So that's what they created the second apron for. And the owners all signed off on this, by the way. This wasn't like, I mean, it got voted. Maybe not a majority, but it's certainly a majority, but not like it wasn't unanimous. And they did that to create as level a playing field as possible for everyone. Hence, you have Oklahoma City, Indiana in the NBA Finals.
So, essentially, in this setup now, it worked because you have these two teams that are not apron teams, correct? Both of them.
At the moment, they're not.
They're not. But they will be eventually. Let's say Oklahoma City wins the championship.
Right.
Well,
they have to pay these young guys. These young guys are going to keep getting, extensions and whatnot.
Right.
Yes, they would eventually get into that area where they would have to make decisions. And it's going to become a lot more like football, where in the NFL, you can't pay everybody because there's a salary cap, right? So the second apron is, in essence, that's why everyone says it's a hard cap. Because at that point, it becomes a hindrance to construct your roster. So because of that, much like the NFL, you have to make hard decisions on guys at different positions or whatnot, and you have to draft well, you have to develop well. The G League is going to become very important in that regard, too, because you need cost-controlled contracts.
Go ahead.
Well, I just want to ask, so these two teams that are in the finals, and obviously we're getting towards the end of this whole thing with only 2 games left to go, it's not that they're small market, and so it's like in the NFL where Green Bay and Jacksonville can spend the same as the Giants and the Rams. These two teams are not necessarily here because of all that we're talking about, the aprons and luxury taxes. These two teams in particular are here, George, aren't they, because of the trades that they made in particular for Shea that we talked about and Tyrese Halliburton?
But they also understood what the rules were changing to. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at Oklahoma City, it's why people say, including myself, that Oklahoma City, while it's not guaranteed, is in an excellent position because when they made that deal for Shea, they got all those picks. They were allowed to then draft, and they had to draft well, obviously, cost-controlled contracts. They still have a number of those picks that they can still use, and they also then made other deals along the way that gave them more draft picks to then find ways to either package those for a player that they wanted or use them as draft capital to actually draft players to then bring in more cost-controlled contracts. You see what I'm saying? Like that, the Thunder have so many picks outstanding still, not just from the Clipper trade, but from multiple trades, that they've got all the assets in the world, basically. They've got the ability to use those assets to trade for players or actually draft them, and they're currently at the moment under the salary cap right now.
So in the end, but let's just, because this is why the question was asked. In the end, just because the Lakers are now owned by a team, the Dodgers ownership, Mark Walter, Guggenheim.
Right, the money bags.
Who's
right,
ultra wealthy.
Yeah.
Instead of the Lakers now saying, hey, we've got more money than all of the other teams in the NBA, even though the way they currently are constructed, they're a family-owned business. They're pretty conservative with the way they spend, not necessarily with player salaries. But there's not this new infusion of money that welcomes in all these great players because the Lakers can outspend everybody and just go ahead and pay the luxury taxes. There's a downside to crossing that second apron.
Correct. And that is what I was saying, which is it's a hindrance in regards to your roster construction. You can't aggregate salaries in a trade. So if you're going to trade, let's just use Rui Hachimura if you're over the second apron. Let's say he makes $15 million, right? You can't add another player into the deal. It's got to be Rui 1-for-1, basically, for whatever the equivalent of his salary is in a deal with another team.
Dollars for dollars, you can't add dollars.
But the thought was that
you can't take back more money. You can only take back less money. And then, of course, as I mentioned, you can't do buyouts in March, and you can't use your exemptions, your mid-level exemption, your lower-level exemptions, etc.
But the general thought has been that the Buss family currently, without this deal, couldn't afford to pay the luxury tax and wasn't going to.
Oh no, I don't know about that. I don't want to be presumptuous on that. I don't know that because I don't know their finances. But they just don't have as much fat to work with as someone who, like Mark Walters, is what I would say, because it's not his primary business. And it's what McMenamin said earlier. A lot of the ownerships in professional sports now, if they're not groups, they're ultra wealthy people that are using these assets as not only financial assets but toys in a lot of ways.
Right.
Oh, big time. I mean, these are pure status symbols for the ultra wealthy.
Okay, we combined here, so we're going to keep talking about it on your home of Lakers basketball, 710 ESPN. Let's get these two calls up real quick.
By the way, and just and look, just because I know people are going to ask this question, can NBA players defer money on their contracts? Yes, but not like Shohei did. Like you can't. The most I think you can defer, if I recall correctly, is like a quarter of the compensation. Not like where Shohei is making 70 and he's deferring 68 million of it or something. Like, you can't do that. That is
speaking of
against the
deferments.
rules.
A man who once deferred a contract a little bit, at least. He told us the story once. Keyshawn's going to join us around 4:30. Meanwhile, 877-710-ESPN. Rare that we bang calls this early in the show, but we have to on a historic day. Cappy, what do we got?
Here's Kenyatta in L.A. checking in on Sedano and Kap. What's up, Kenyatta?
How you doing? I was listening to you guys. I forgot I was even on the phone. I was listening to you on the radio at first.
Beautiful.
Well, what do you think, man? What do you think about this deal?
So I was listening to Momo when I got into the car, and she spoke on a lot of things really well. Only thing I won't be able to speak on is the money aspect of everything. But I just tell you how I feel about the organization and about Jeannie selling. I think it was a great idea for her to sell. And I feel like what you guys have said, the transitioning from her role on the Lakers is not going to happen right away, but it will happen eventually. There's a lot of relationships within the Lakers organization, between Jeannie, Magic, Mitch, the Buss family in the whole. There's just been a history of the Lakers organization. So I feel like it's a good thing that she sold. We need something new. We've really been just running off of relationships that have been really hit or miss this whole time since Dr. Buss passed away. But I think them selling to Walter was a great idea. Especially, Magic been working with Walter as well, so he knows as well, how good he will be for the team. But this was great for the team, regardless of anything, of what anybody feel about, the relationship between the Buss family and the organization and everything like that.
I agree. I think the other part of it is too, Kenyatta, and thanks for a great call. I think that when you have a franchise like the Lakers, okay, that is such an important part of the fabric of the community. That sounds cliche, but you all kind of understand how important the Lakers are to Los Angeles. If you sell to somebody who's not from LA or doesn't live here or just doesn't have anything to do with, you're talking about the guy and the group that owns and has delivered championships for the Dodgers, which is equal to, or in many, to some people, greater than in terms of brand and importance to the community. But they're 1 and 1A. It doesn't really matter. You're selling to essentially what is a local.
Correct, and that's a big part of it too.
It is, right?
And with a real relationship between the parties,
and connected by Magic. Which, is there anybody more adored and loved in the sports world and in the business world in L.A. than Magic Johnson?
No.
So, you talk about a common denominator between the two franchises. Pretty amazing.
Real quick, bang one more call here, Captain. What do you got?
Banging it.
I'm going to bang. Here's Ian in Redondo Beach.
What's going on, bro?
Hey, gentlemen. So my question for you guys, and maybe George, if he knows this more, is who's the final say on any drafts, trades, free agency? Who's going to be the final say on if we make those actions?
Okay, so I don't know for sure, but at the end she is the governor, so to Ramona's point earlier, she's going to make the final decisions for a while. But she does have to answer to the group, right? Because she can maybe I'm wrong. I would imagine she can't make unilateral decisions anymore. I think that she's going to have to consult with everyone. Now, by the way, she may not have had unilateral decision-making in big decisions anyway because she always had partners. So I don't know the way the back room works there, but I would imagine that they will all have to work in unison to some extent. But yeah, I mean, as far as like the roster and stuff, it seems fairly obvious that Rob is still going to be in charge of the organization from that perspective.
I would add for now, not because I know anything in terms of what Rob's status is or will be, but you just never know. I mean, new people come in, and even though Jeannie is still the governor, this will be the first time in her career as the owner of the Lakers where she's not the majority owner, and she can't kind of say, hey, I'm the majority owner, I'm vetoing, I'm making a decision, and that's the way it's going to be, because now, for the first time, and for all intent and purposes, there's a boss. She has a boss, which there's never been anybody above her other than her dad, and now there's a group that owns more of the team than she does. And while she's in control because she's got all the relationships around the league and she remains in that role of governor, it's a difference between owning 86% and owning 15%, if that's ultimately the way the percentages work out.
It sounds like it's less of a boss and more of a backer, if that makes sense.
Well, or again, a collaboration is what I would say.
I mean, I think a lot of people, will sell a business. I mean, it doesn't have to be a multi-billion-dollar business, but you sell a business to a bigger company, somebody absorbs you. When they buy your company, they're not like, hey, get out.
Right.
They're like, hey, I just bought your company that is a court reporting company, and you've got 100 employees, and we bought your company for X millions of dollars, but we actually really need you to stay on for the next 5 years. We'll pay you out over time, but we need you to stay on as we learn your people, we learn your clientele, et cetera, et cetera. And it just kind of sounds like Walter said, we'll pay you now. And somebody said earlier, she's taking the money off the table. But for now,
and she's cashing out her family.
Big time. And so
cashing them out. And now this leaves her, for the first time ever, truly as the only sibling in control. Because she's still the governor, and she's cashed out the rest of the Bus family with this deal. And now she's in charge solely with collaboration now with the Guggenheim Group.
Yeah, it's an amazing deal. And again, I don't know that we all have had a chance to digest all of the details. And
you've been digesting a lot today.
Well, I've been trying because it really just. And here's the other thing, I've been around 2 deals where major league franchises have been sold. One was the Sacramento Kings, and one was the San Diego Padres. So I've actually had I've been on the inside, not because I had anything to do with it, just because I had close friends that were part of these ownership groups. So I've gotten to see a little bit more, perhaps, than the average person when it comes to how these deals come about.
All right, LA's native son, a man of Troy, a man who grew up, as many of us did, watching the Showtime Lakers. Yes, fight on. Keyshawn's going to join us in just a few moments. We'll get his reaction on this. And we'll do some Radio Tinder, too. Don't forget, tonight at 6 o'clock, we don't go off the air. We also don't go on YouTube. Beto Duran and Andy Kamenetsky have a special edition of Lakers Talk.
Oh, wow.
They'll be taking your calls. We'll stay live from LA Live until at least 8 p.m., maybe 9 p.m., depending on how it goes, which means, Cappy, you're now going with DeAndre to the baseball game? Is that right?
It's bizarre. Well, George, I'm going to have to run this by you here.
Because all I saw is Parker Bell in here for 30 minutes and your credit card came out, which I've never seen your credit card come out.
Well, if I wasn't on the air, I would have asked you for your credit card.
Thank you. Okay. All right, real quick, tell us about our friends at Coors Light, Cappy, and then Keyshawn's next.
All right, so here's the deal, guys. Have you noticed over the last 3 or 4 days in particular, maybe since Friday of last week, how the weather has turned? All of a sudden, thank goodness, I don't mean to jinx it, but man, the May gray, the June gloom, it all seems to have been gone. We've been having perfect weather. I can tell you this, at 6 o'clock this morning when Chris and I hit the streets of downtown LA, it was already warm, and this afternoon, the sun is out, blue skies, and it is steamy on the streets of downtown LA. So here we go. It's summertime here in Southern California and here in LA. And we are all about choosing chill, whether we're walking these streets of downtown, whether we're hitting the beach, maybe taking a hike on our favorite trails, or like tonight, going out to support your favorite teams. The one thing that ties all of us together is great friends and icy cold Coors Light. And I'll tell you something, after all these conversations today about numbers and ownership and percentages, I could use an icy cold Coors Light right about now. Pick up a Coors Light near you, or you can have it delivered to your door today. How? By visiting this website, CAChooseChill.com. That's CAChooseChill.com to learn more. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly and cheers with an icy cold Coors Light.
And you'll never forget the day you heard the Bus family is selling the Los Angeles Lakers. ESPN Sham Charania is reporting that the buyer is Mark Walter, the CEO of TWG Global, and the price is $10 billion. We're talking about it on your home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. If you're ready to upgrade your driving experience, you gotta go and check out what's happening at Cadillac and their incredible new lineup of state-of-the-art EVs, sedans, and SUVs. And hey, look, there's no better place to experience the luxury of Cadillac than at Cadillac of Beverly Hills. Check out Cadillac of Beverly Hills and their beautiful showroom at 8767 Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills. And check them out on the web at CadillacBeverlyHills.com.
Collectors, Front Row Card Show is back at the Pasadena Convention Center on June 21st and 22nd. Biggest show ever. Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards. Plus Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. CGC and JSA will be there. So bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade, or get them graded. More than 500 tables. Thousands of dollars in free prizes. Don't miss it. Front Row Card Show, Pasadena Convention Center. Saturday and Sunday, June 21st and 22nd, 11 to 5. For more info, go to FrontRowCardShow.com. That's FrontRowCardShow.com.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Flashy discounts, gimmicky sales? Don't fall for it. At Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, we give you honest, wholesale pricing all year long. No bogus markups, no tricks, just the best floors at the best prices. Call 866-62-FLOOR. No sale beats wholesale. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, check them out at hernandezwholesaleflooring.net or call them at 866-62-FLOOR.
For the best prices on hardwood, carpet, and more, call 866-62-FLOOR.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Mace. In tough times, a lot of people find themselves owing money to the IRS. It can really weigh you down, and you're confused about the right way to handle it. And all those scary ads on the radio about the IRS, they don't help. Tax relief advocates want you to relax, knowing that whether you owe $5,000, $50,000, $500,000 in tax debt, you don't have to fear the IRS another day. TRA has a proven 3-step tax resolution process, plus they're experts at working with special programs available from the IRS to help taxpayers get back on track. Easy to see why they have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. If you owe money to the IRS and feel trapped, don't lose hope. Tax relief advocates could reduce or even eliminate your debt. End your tax nightmare today. Simply visit TRA.com or call 800-575-1482. That's 800-575-1482. Again, 800-575-1482.
Hey guys, have you checked out the all-new Park West Bicycle Casino? Just 9 miles from downtown LA and near the 710 freeway, it's completely reimagined with new ownership, renovations, and upgraded amenities. We're also home to California's largest card room jackpot ever, $3.7 million. New players score $30 in match play when they say, Cappy sent me. Park West Bicycle Casino, come see what everyone's talking about.
Please gamble responsibly. Problemgambling.ca.gov. 1-800-GAMBLER. GGR 001291. GAR 001292. PSIS license number 1358.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You spit in today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-294-0222. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-294-0222. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-294-0222. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
4:34 on a Wednesday afternoon, Sedano and Kap on this very historic day in L.A. Jeannie Buss is selling her part of the team to the Dodgers, essentially. We're reacting on your home of Lakers basketball, 710 ESPN, the all-new ESPN LA app, and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles on this day in 2010. Eminem released his 7th album, Recovery. I'm guessing that's what this is from. Yeah, there we go. It's also...
Is that you're playing that because Key had to recover from being around you?
No, he misses me, he said last time we spoke. We're still efforting Key, though, apparently.
Yeah, I think he doesn't miss you that much if he's not answering.
He heard that Cappy didn't want him on the show, apparently.
I guess so.
What?
Told you.
I'll let Chris expand if he wants to.
No, I'll leave it there. Meanwhile,
wait, Cappy, you didn't want Key on the show?
You really want me to tell everybody about this?
I don't, but you can.
Well, I mean, you opened the door.
Oh, I was making a joke.
Oh, I thought you wanted to be serious.
Beto Duran and Andy Kamenetsky coming up at 6 o'clock as we continue reaction all evening long on the Lakers moving on from being a family-owned business primarily to now there's a lot of weird math equations going on and who's really going to be in control. And ultimately, Jeannie cashes out her family, the rest of the siblings, and she will stay in control. But Greg Bergman was just in here, the part that Mark Cuban, when he sold the Dallas Mavericks, said he was going to be in control forever, and then he wasn't.
Right, but he didn't get it in writing.
He didn't get it in
writing. And I'm guessing in this deal, she learned. You've heard Dave and Ramona and talk about how close she was to Mark, and Wick Grosbeck, who is also was the owner. I guess technically still the owner of the Celtics, but not for long. And I bet you Mark told her, whatever you want, get it in writing.
Yeah, or I'm just going to throw out a possibility, or it's good PR, frankly, to say, hey, Jeannie, who's well-known and very well-liked, I think, it's good PR for the world, the two organizations, to say, hey, look, yeah, we're buying this hype, this big percentage, but she, with her smaller percentage, will still be the control person, and that's something that on the day of the announcement, you put that out there. But in theory, 6 months from now, she might go away. Again, just theoretically, she's got her money. She made the sale, and she might say, hey, look, the plan was maybe to 5 years, but I decided after 6 months I don't want to do this anymore. That is a possibility. Again, I made this comment earlier.
Keyshawn's calling me.
Okay. I made the comment earlier, George, which was...
we're on the air.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I just called.
Well, I don't know. Did you call the hotline?
Whatever the 213 number is.
Okay. I don't know. I think he's calling. Oh, no, that's him. All right, bye. Call him back once, I guess.
Sometimes when somebody sells a business and they've got a 5-year buyout, 6 months
Sounds
into
like,
the
by the
buyout,
way,
they're like, I don't want to be here.
Sounds like he hasn't changed very much.
No, he hasn't. But, we shouldn't have him on, apparently.
Wow, you just keep, you keep saying it, and yet you keep saying you don't want to say anything.
Cappy's going to punch you in the face today,
No, I'm not going to punch him. But when
We've been spending a lot of time together over the last 24 hours.
I think it's annoying us,
It's boiling. It's starting to boil.
But George, let me tell you something right now. George, let me tell you. I only wish.
Is that why I had to talk you off the ledge?
Yeah. Me or Chris?
No, Chris.
Oh, no,
I didn't realize it was that. I didn't realize it was you.
No. George. It ain't got nothing to do with me, buddy.
Wait a minute, what's the problem?
It ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right, let's talk to Key.
Keyshawn Johnson from Speak on FS1. LA's native son is joining us now. Son of Troy.
Man of Troy.
Fight on.
Key, how do you feel as a young boy you looked up to Dr. Buss and the Showtime Lakers, and now the Buss family's no longer involved.
No, I wouldn't. First of all, you guys need to get your it together over there because this phone back and forward trying to get a hold of me and me getting a hold of you doesn't work. So let's figure it out. Special hotline.
Tulsa all up in here. Tulsa.
I mean, listen, your boy Chris, he's got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
right?
I almost died.
I understand.
He did. He almost
I understand.
died.
I get it.
Yeah.
But back to your back to your original question to me. Look, she's still involved. They still got a little piece. The governor, she's still running the floor as of right now. At some point in time, you knew this was going to happen because the inner workings of the family situation, the dynamics there. And let's face it, they all get a chance to touch a little something, right? Get their beaks wet, get a little cash in their pockets. And I think that's it.
Sometimes you just got to get your beak wet.
Everybody loves getting their beak wet. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, though, Sedano. You want to get your beak wet, touch a little something, And your hands and palms, as my mom would say, the palms are itchy. That means I'm going to get some money. And so, they get to do that. The interesting thing about it, though, is the group or the individual, well, I call it a group, even though it's an individual that's leading the group and heading things up, they have a sports background. We're not just selling something to somebody who found some money because they sold a tech company and they're not involved in sports business. That would be scary to me. But when you have the intricate parts of maybe there's a Magic Johnson that's around, maybe he's not involved in the day-to-day basketball operations, but he's around, you can lean on him because he's a business partner of yours, and you have other people in the building that knows the basketball operation side of things, you feel good about it. And you know how these things go, man. You a team, and at some point in time, it's handed down, and it's handed down again, it's handed down again. At some point in time, that individual or those individuals are going to look to exit because that's just what they want to do. They don't want to run a team for the rest of their lives, and everybody wants to get their beak wet. So There you go.
Yep, that's why I was just saying a few seconds ago before you came on, I really feel like even though everybody's saying, well, she's going to remain on as governor and hold her 15%, 6 months from now, she might be looking at her bank account going, do I really want to do this or do I want to live the rest of my life? So ain't no guarantee that she'll be there. Key, did you by chance check in with Magic on this? He seems like he's the middleman.
No, but interesting, well, I don't know if he's the middleman. Look, I don't know if he's the middleman, but he certainly knew that something was going down. There's no question about that. I heard whispers a while ago that this could potentially happen, even to the fact that, the LeBron James name had got mentioned as somebody who potentially could fall into this situation of being able to, once he retired, being able to probably grab a piece or a majority piece of the Lakers with a group. But obviously that didn't happen. He's got his eyes set on some other stuff. But you knew that this was going to happen. And a lot of times, again,
Key.
It's probably our fault.
It's probably us.
Whether it's because there's estate sales or estate taxes that go on that you look at. I mean, it's just, and it sounds sad because we know the Lakers as a Buss family, right? That's how we know them. The Buss family is running the Lakers, and they're doing their deal. So it feels sad. But in the end, I think she's a smart enough young lady to be able to sign off on people that will take care of the franchise moving forward.
Now, wait a second. So you didn't talk to Magic. So you didn't get in on this deal? You didn't throw in a few bucks? Like
Man,
you didn't get $5 on it?
I couldn't even buy season tickets, let alone try to get in on a deal that is $10 billion. Hey, come on now. Nah, I don't think I can rub enough coins together to get a piece. I don't want. If I was to get involved in a professional franchise, I need to be able to be really involved. I don't need floor tickets and be able to clap when they win. I don't want that.
Yeah, but I heard you say the other day you would never coach like LeBron. So you're saying you'd get involved in ownership if you had the right opportunity?
First of all, I'll never have the money to have the right opportunity. Okay. Right?
I mean, I don't know about that. You got a lot of money.
These things, no, I don't have $10 billion, but these things are selling at a different level. Coaching-wise, not a chance. Like LeBron said, zero chance. Never. Not a chance in the world would I ever want to have a whistle in my mouth running up and down the damn sideline. For what? For who? There's no reason to.
But you would not be involved in any team ownership unless you were hands-on? Is that what you're saying?
You know, it's number one, it's expensive. Let's just make sure that we all are aware how expensive it is. When you see people getting involved in teams and buying teams and doing, they got some money laying around. They just got some money under their seat, under their couch, and under their bed. You know, I don't have $100 million laying around to get 2% of a team. It's not worth it. And then a lot of billionaires that got the money to do it, they don't want to do it because it's like, why would I? You know, when people say like Jeff Bezos, why would Jeff Bezos want to own a damn football team when he could very well just sit in his friend's box who owns the team? He doesn't have to worry about the Keyshawn Johnsons of the world arguing for money. He doesn't have to worry about the George Sedanos needing new money because he's doing their radio broadcasting, all that. I'm so rich, I'm just chilling. That's what I'm talking about. I don't do that. Why do you want to hit your head against the wall when you don't have to? For what? Just because it's a toy?
Yeah, status symbol. That's right, status symbol.
Oh, I don't need my status symbol. You know, I don't know what these guys have, but I got $40 billion. That's my status. Why in the hell would I want to deal with athletes?
Key status symbol is that smile, the $1 million smile.
Oh, he's got that $1 million smile, Cap. That's why we're having him on.
Okay, gotcha.
The $1 million smile.
Because, you know, on radio, you could see the $1 million.
Oh, you can imagine it in your mind right now.
Well, we should have put him on YouTube.
No, you could. Here's my plug. Here's the plug. No, you could see me on FS1 on Speak from 2 to 4, 5 days a week with Joy Taylor, Paul Pierce, and special guest, our senior basketball analyst, Rick Bucher. So there you go. Shameless plug.
Thank you, Key. Well, hopefully this means better days ahead, maybe, for the Lakers. Maybe they'll win in the second. Maybe they'll get to the second apron now. Who knows? But we love you for joining.
We will. We certainly got Luka to lean on for the future. So
man, Luka's more out of shape than you are.
Whoa! I don't even know who that's more slanderous towards. Wow!
See, if I wanted to hit the internet right now and have people troll me and talk about how mean I am, I would say you were out of shape.
I was.
And you're still out of shape.
That's
you just
true.
lost a few pounds.
You are exactly right. You are exactly right.
Correct.
I walk him like a dog on these streets down here in downtown LA every day, and he lost 80 pounds.
100 pounds.
Don't mean he's in shape. I'll tell you that right now.
Is it? I hadn't seen Chris since I hadn't seen him in a while, especially since he had his scare. But is it like hanging all off your arms and
it's not that bad.
and all that?
It's not like wings of love, like the wings of love are hanging off my arms. It's not that bad.
It's not like when you get what is that stomach surgery?
The lap band.
Yeah, no, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
You're not going to get that surgery?
I don't even think they're doing that anymore, Sedano. I think they just go straight Ozempic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's true. It's much easier. Yeah.
How the stretch marks? They look good?
They're okay.
Yeah?
A few of them.
Let me take a look at those things.
Which ones?
I want to see the ones on the belly.
No, I don't want to see them.
You know,
but hey guys, continue to keep watching me on FS1.
Thank you.
And I love joining you guys anytime. Just let me know.
Thank you, Key.
You got it. Got to figure out what channel that is.
LA's native son.
Wow.
DirecTV.
Wow. Invite the man on and insult the man. Why don't you?
But no, when I was in the throes of edema and almost dying, like those stretch marks looked like angry.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was something trying to beat out of my stomach. It was bad. But
Keyshawn,
now that's all gone.
Like Quado?
I don't know what that means.
Me neither.
Well, like Alien.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, it looked like something like an alien was trying to beat.
Hey, George.
Oh, he's still there. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I heard the little side swipe. Okay? You got to figure out what channel I'm on. I heard everything. I hear you. Okay?
I got to figure it out. I wanted you to hear.
Bye.
Bye, Key.
What channel? Tell me.
It's 219, I think, on DirecTV. I don't know about other things.
Did Keyshawn show up at your house?
I don't know what channel.
To check on you when
I don't
you
know
were
what
dying?
satellite service Key uses.
So he offered to.
He did. You told him not to come?
No, and then I went into the coma, and then I didn't really follow up. And then when we spoke again, he honestly asked me, do you need any money?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no, we're good right now.
Why don't you just take his money?
Because I'm not you.
I would have.
What am I? I don't think he was, I'm not going to take a bridge loan from Keyshawn.
Why don't you tell him you'll Venmo me, man?
That's not how Key does it. Key's going to walk in with like cash.
A
Hold on,
brick of cash?
I'm going to FaceTime him right now.
And then he's going to want receipts.
You sign an IOU on a napkin?
Listen, I've spent the
if you're
day with
listening,
Key
pick up the phone.
where he like goes in and pays cash for gas.
Really?
No credit card, nothing.
Oh my God, no way,
Oh
really?
yeah, yes.
How much is he walking around with in his pocket?
I don't know, but he
$5 grand,
he
10
goes
grand?
to the bank and gets cash, like old school. We walk into the bank,
Yeah.
no ATMs or anything, and he gets money out. No joke.
That's awesome.
448 on Sedano and Cap as we react to the news. Lakers are being sold to the Dodgers, essentially. Jeannie Buss giving up her 66%. Will remain governor of the team for. I hear buzzing from somewhere going on. But first, Cappy.
I'm trying to get him on FaceTime, but he won't pick up the phone.
Okay, we're going to get to Radio Tinder.
You sideswiped the guy.
We're going to get to Radio Tinder for a few minutes next. But first,
It's 2:19.
there we go. First, Sedano, tell us about our friend, big Lakers fan. Actually, we should get Jacob's thoughts.
He came on with.
Well,
during
Jacob was
Super
already
Crosstalk.
on earlier.
Oh, he
today.
was on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, I mean, did you ask then why are we having Jacob on?
No, they didn't tell me.
Oh, okay. Tell us about
Well,
our
listen, you
friend,
get into an
Jason
accident,
and Ronnie.
And hopefully you don't need to get into an accident right now. And maybe that's why Key didn't pick up the FaceTime because he's driving. But anyway, you get into an accident, you call Jacob 844-24-JACOB. A lot of people stay quiet after an accident. They think of the pain that they're dealing with. They think it'll go away or that the insurance company will just do the right thing. Jacob and Ronnie has got a different message for you. Do it for you because guess what? The insurance company has lawyers. They're trained to save money, not to protect you. That's why you need Jacob in your corner. He's been doing this for decades, fighting real people, fighting for real people. Well, fighting against real people, too, and getting real results. Help you get the proper treatment, deal with the paperwork, make sure you don't get taken advantage of. You got one shot to handle this the right way. So don't do it for them. Do it for you. Call Jacob today. Tell him Sedano, Mason, and the crew at 710 send you 844-24-JACOB, 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 or visit them online at calljacob.com. Jacob, a proud partner of the Rams, Lakers, and LAFC. Follow Call Jacob on Instagram and Facebook and check out the latest billboard messages designed to lift your day.
And you'll never forget the day you heard the Buss family is selling the Los Angeles Lakers. ESPN Shams Charania is reporting that the buyer is Mark Walter, the CEO of TWG Global, and the price is $10 billion. We're talking about it on your home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
The High Desert Beer and Wine Festival, Saturday, June 21st at the Palmdale Amphitheater. This Ticket Thursday on ESPN LA. We're hooking up listeners with 3 pairs of tickets to the tastiest party of the summer. Craft beers, fine wines, food trucks, and live performances from Eve 6, DJ A1, and more. Tune in Thursday for your cue to call and win. The High Desert Beer and Wine Festival, June 21st, Palmdale Amphitheater. Don't miss it.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Los Angeles International Airport's People Mover trains begin rolling early next year as part of LAX's ongoing investments to transform and improve your travel journey. The People Mover trains will quickly move guests between their terminals and our new consolidated rental car center, metro trains and buses, economy parking, and Kiss and Fly lot. The trains will make it simple and fast to get to your LAX destination in 10 minutes or less, and trains depart every 2 minutes beginning in early 2026. Learn more at lawa.org/ESPN.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
So it was the fourth quarter and we're down by 5. Sweat pouring down my face. Suddenly it hit me. If only I could wrap part of the towel around my forehead. And that's how I became the first basketball player to wear a headband.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states.
$4:53 on a Wednesday afternoon. Sedano and Kap. Radio Tinder time. We like to play a TV
host
name.
The Price is Right, or what?
Gosh, I hope so.
What's happening?
Can you imagine that? Man, you got the wrong price. On this day in 2007.
The Showcase Showdown. I'm going to give you cash.
Bob Barker made his final appearance on The Price is Right. Be sure to spay your animals, please.
And neuter them, too.
And neuter them, too.
Yeah, you need to be neutered. Although I guess now you don't really need to be neutered anymore.
Is it an anniversary today? Price is Right? Bob Barker?
I just said Bob Barker made his final appearance on this day in 2007. And then Cappy took a swipe at my schwan.
Drew Carey is still there, right?
Yes.
Is it still on?
Yeah, it's still on.
Really?
Oh, of course it's still on, dude.
It makes nothing but money.
I don't know. I don't
Unlike
see it.
this place. You can follow her at Lindsay Baseball on Twitter or Instagram.
It makes a ton of money.
No, I've just made that swipe because I want to spend more, and I'm being told I can't spend more. I need to make more.
Wait,
first.
what?
That's a long story.
You know, Chris met my agent the other day.
I didn't meet him, but I've heard a lot of stories about him. I wasn't part of those meetings. I didn't
realize
invite.
you were there. You weren't there.
I wasn't there, but I got a lot of debriefs, a lot of memos, and a lot of that's Sedano's agent. He's amazing. And now Cappy's gonna ask me a million questions now.
I don't have
Thanks,
any
George.
questions. I don't have one question.
He's
Not
gonna be like,
not a
so
single one.
walk me through how this impacts this, and maybe this guy could buy cited.
Or maybe he could represent me.
No,
you don't think so?
Is Rachel your agent?
No.
I'll tell you what, she should be.
I was going to say,
She
I feel
should
like,
be.
I
She
feel
should
like
be.
she would be a good agent.
She'd be a great
Your guy,
agent.
though, has a great agent name, though.
Yeah, my agent's name is Rick Diamond.
Did he used to do like mornings in like Sacramento? Or
No,
something?
but I'll tell you, I used to have
Hey,
a
it's
program.
Rick Diamond in the morning.
Hey man, I could be Cappy's agent, or I could sell you an Oldsmobile.
I used to have a guy that would refuse to
Rick
call
Diamond
him Rick Diamond.
Oldsmobile.
Right, one of my program directors many years ago refused to call him Rick Diamond. He's like, that mother effing Joe Emerald. That's what he called him, Joe Emerald.
Is that the same guy that called me that nasty name?
Yes, it
Which
is.
we can't say.
Same guy.
Wow, that guy's he's a real scumbag.
Well, I mean, you guys should get along perfectly. Seriously.
Time for Radio Tinder. You can follow her at Lindsay Baseball on Twitter, Instagram. Don't forget about our new sponsor, the Crazy Hernandez Brothers. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. If you're in the market for new flooring, shop at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, where every day is a deal. No gimmicks. Call 866-62-FLOOR, F-L-O-O-R, or go to HernandezWholesaleFlooring.net. No sale beats wholesale. Take it away. Producer Lindsay. What, Cappy?
No sale beats wholesale.
Homeboy.
You know where the
Thank you.
homeboy started? With Keyshawn. Who you
Don't
didn't
get
want
it
to
twisted.
You
Don't
didn't
get
want to
it
have him on
twisted.
the air.
I'll explain to everybody why. I feel like I need to vindicate myself.
Take it away, Producer Lindsay.
I also would like to vindicate myself and show that in the group chat, I did call him 5 times and gave him the hotline number.
Guys,
Just
why
saying.
are both of you so much like this? We're good. Everybody's good. It's fun.
He's already been on.
I'm only kidding. Jeez.
I mean, you and Cappy should start a Sedano and Morales support club.
We
a
should start
Morales
therapy
Anonymous?
group.
Yeah, Morales Anonymous.
Yeah.
Why is it at Sedano Anonymous? Why am I the more... yeah, exactly.
Oh, I just wish
leave it
everybody
at
would have
that.
been at dinner last night. Oh, my God.
I know, I kind of wish I was there,
Oh,
too.
it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Actually, I think Lindsay didn't catch any heat out of that whole thing.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think I was nice about that. Everybody else, though.
Want to know why?
What?
I didn't catch no heat, did I?
A little bit,
Oh,
actually.
yeah, you caught.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, damn.
Some DeAndre Heat?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
He talked about the DeAndre Heat.
I don't think it was the same heat as ever
No,
as
probably
the
not.
others.
No, I get it, yeah.
All right, 4:57 wins with a little radio
okay.
Tinder.
Okay, so according to recent data, more Americans are now tuning into social media as their primary news source instead of TV. In a poll of 100,000 Americans across 48 markets, 54% of them said that they ingest news from social media networks like Facebook, YouTube,
Oh my
Instagram,
God.
X, TikTok,
What a
etc.
disaster.
Exactly. So my mom religiously watches the news from like 4 until it ends at 7 p.m. or whatever,
Okay.
even though it's 3 different versions.
Until
of
Wheel
the
of Fortune comes on? Or
So
what?
is she watching it on a local television station
Yes.
or like Fox News,
No,
CNN?
she watches
Okay.
the local news, and sometimes she flips because they're different from 4 to 5 and then 5 to 6 and 6 to 7. Anyway, do you guys still watch TV for news at all? Swipe left or swipe right?
Oh, I let me tell you something. I love on the weekends, particularly. I love watching KTLA on the weekends because it's like super fun. I mean, they do the serious stuff too, but they have a lot of fun. So I love KTLA on the weekends.
During the fires earlier in the year, I felt like my TV was stuck on Channel 5.
Oh my God, all the entire time. That's all I watched was local TV.
Right now, I'm watching a lot of TV because with everything that has been going on in the last week in the world, I've been watching a ton of news coverage. But what I've kind of learned, especially through the election, is if you watch CNN, obviously you get one slant, and if you watch Fox, you get another slant. So I actually use now a website, or it's more of an app. It's called Ground News. Have you guys ever heard of this? Ground News. They what they do is they print all these articles, and they'll or not print, but they'll aggregate all these articles.
I was just going to say they printed for you. That's pretty impressive.
And they'll tell you, they'll go, these are the left leaning, these are the right leaning, and these are considered the middle. So I'm trying.
I didn't know there was
I
middle
was going to
news
say,
left.
how many middles are there?
I don't know, but you should check it out. Ground
Well,
News.
isn't the one with Cuomo now like that supposedly?
Supposedly,
like News
yeah.
Nation?
I don't think it is. I watch him sometimes, and I just think he's still doing CNN.
I mean, at the end of the day, they're all
Well, no,
owned
but
by-
I'm saying like they have different people with different ideologies on there.
Yeah, maybe isn't O'Reilly on there too?
Is he?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that right?
Yeah.
they're all owned by billionaires who want, to.
I think Stephen A's been on there too.
He has with
Well,
O'Reilly
Stephen A.
and
does a
Cuomo.
lot of Hannity too on Fox News.
Yeah.
He gets around.
Do you still watch the news, Christopher? You said
I do.
Okay.
So there is one cable news program that I watch that I really enjoy that's more of a humor comedy based. And then when it comes to regular news, I'll put on sometimes Spectrum One. Sometimes when I'm at Stephanie's house, I'll put on local news. And I read a lot from various sites because I feel that I want to get both slants because I feel that I can then make up my mind somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. And that's why, like, for example, you talk about social media. Like, if I want to find a story, I might go onto Twitter and type in, like, Israel, Iran. You know what I mean? I want to see what's going on. And then they give me a ton. And then I'm like, wait a second, this is not what I was looking for. So I don't know how people are getting their news, but I'll tell you this. Like, my kids are being brainwashed by whatever they're watching on TikTok. That scares me.
Well, the TikTok stuff is so many people get their, and they'll say it to you. I get my news on TikTok, and I don't exactly know what that means, but
well, the thing with TikTok is it basically like the algorithm pushes more, and same with YouTube. Like if you like this, then it's going to show
It'll
you
just
more
keep
videos
giving you
like
more
that.
of that. Yes,
right.
exactly. So,
you're
it's
not
not
gonna...
really doing anything for
Right.
you other than confirmation bias.
my Twitter algorithm is so hijacked because I follow a lot from both sides. So every day is a new experience for me. Sometimes
me
it's
too.
a lot
I'm
of
the same way.
Sometimes it's a lot of right, and sometimes it's like stuff like.
Well, what
dark
ends
Twitter
up
stuff.
happening is a lot of I follow a lot of financial people, and they tend to be more towards the right. So I ends up getting, and then I'm definitely more liberal. So I follow those, and then so I get the kind of the combination of all things being fired at me at the same time.
No, it's insane, honestly. 5 o'clock wins. You got more?
I do. Funchy, do you want to do one or you're good?
Come on, Funch, get in on
He
this.
didn't. He said he wanted. We got a break. We're already behind, so I have another
come on,
one.
Funch.
I have another
You guys
one.
really want one?
Yes, Funch.
Okay. I was talking to my wife this morning. She
Thank
went out on a business meeting, and it was with a client, a really high, client or whatever. And
the client was high?
No, they're really, really high level
client.
High level
okay. I
client.
thought the
High
client
level
was
client.
baked.
No, high level client, whatever.
Yeah.
The high level client told her the last couple times that you're dressing up too much for our meetings. Can you dress down?
Oh.
What?
The client said this to your wife?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
And then today,
As in like too fancy?
Too fancy. Yes, too
Little
dressed
bougie.
up.
Okay.
Bougie. And then today, she had like a cute jumper on, I suppose. You know what a jumper is, guys?
Aw.
Right? Yeah.
Cappy sometimes wears just jumpers.
I've worn a couple.
But she thought it was too dressed down.
Okay.
So, and I thought it was too dressed up. Mm-hmm. I thought she would wear like some jeans and a t-shirt or something like that. But she said she was meeting up with the CEO as well, so she felt like she needed to dress a little bit better. So when you guys go to a business meeting and a person tells you to dress down, do you still dress up? Cappy.
I would rather be overdressed than underdressed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But I got to say, like, again, this is now 5 years since COVID. I have stopped wearing dress shoes completely. I only wear sneakers.
I think most people have.
Yeah.
Really.
I've started wearing, like, pants that look like dress pants but feel like workout pants that no one can tell the difference.
Like the ones you were trying to sell me yesterday?
Correct. And by the way, they're so nice in the crotch. They're
Cappy's
so
like,
loose
use
and
my
comfortable.
code. Use my code.
Yeah, they're great. By the way, huge discount. They went from like $129 down to like $54.
Oh, I might use
they're
the code
amazing.
then.
Yeah, they're incredible. I've gone completely casual. I've stopped dressing up. I don't even like wearing a sport coat.
What about you guys? Morales, I know you're a big dresser up.
I am a big dress-up guy. I wear cowboy boots a lot. I don't really wear dress shoes anymore. I wear more sneakers. I wear a lot of jeans and blazers. But I've never been asked to dress down. But I will say this. I used to work for a man. I was a consultant to his group in Houston, where he knew all my different suits and ties and combinations, and he was a Harvard MBA. A lot of times he'd be like, Sean, these people we're meeting with aren't quite the pink tie group. Let's go white shirt, blue tie, white hanky. So he would more outline, like, you can't be too crazy. So that's more things. So I got a lot of requests from him to be like, black suit, white shirt.
Tone it down.
Tone it down a little bit.
Does Sam Pines ever say that to you? This isn't a pink tie group?
No, Sam actually is very much, because sometimes I'll be like, should I dress down? He's like, no, be you. GKB is very much like, be you. If you want to wear a suit, wear a suit. If you want to dress like Sam, dress like Sam.
Right, because Sam dresses like he's Andrew Whitworth. You know what I mean? Seriously, he's got the hoodie with the sport coat.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
Sedano, what about you? Dressing down?
No, I mean, I would prefer to be dressed casual. I think in L.A. you can get away with that more than most places, but I would just say that, I subscribe to Chris's theory and Cappy's theory of I'd rather be overdressed than underdressed.
Dress like you got somewhere better to be is what my
So the
parents
client
always
is
told me.
saying dress down. You guys are still going to dress up.
Not dress up. Like I'm not going to wear a full suit, but I'll be in like a sports jacket and jeans.
Cool.
I feel like the business casual style is so different now than it was before COVID. Like business casual is like Kathy said.
I agreed.
Like
jeans
most
are
people
more
wear sneakers.
apropos.
I don't think that like most men do not wear dress shoes anymore.
Right. I mean, even if you're watching everybody on ESPN and they're in the studio, everybody's wearing a suit with a pair of sneakers. And not even like trying to hide it anymore. Like, you used to get those like Kenneth Cole reaction, whatever they were called. Freaking they look like wingtips, but they feel like sneakers.
Right.
Those stink. I hate those shoes, man. But I wore them for a little while because I was trying to look dressy, but I wanted to feel good. I am done with dress shoes, man.
Nice shoes, sir. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm done with dress shoes.
Well, that's Radio Tinder, brought to you by the Crazy Hernandez brothers, Hernandez Wholesale Flooring.
Let's get to the 30 minutes nonstop because we got a lot of Lakers people who are getting in their car probably wondering why the hell we're talking about dressing up.
Exactly.
So let's get into the biggest news of the day and maybe some of the biggest – I mean, is it fair to say maybe some of the biggest news in decades in L.A.?
Yeah, we're going to reset the A block.
Sports-wise?
Yeah, reset the A story. Lakers are sold. Jack, that's next on 710.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your L.A. Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN.
Welcome to Big Tobacco's Fantasyland, the industry's idea of a healthier tomorrow, where vapes are deemed safer. Never mind, they can contain cancer-causing arsenic and lead. And they're anti-aging, because you're more likely to die younger from a stroke. In Big Tobacco's Fantasyland, the deadliest industry can rebrand itself as your friend.
Icy Cold Coors Light.
And you'll never forget the day you heard the Bus family is selling the Los Angeles Lakers. ESPN Sham Charania is reporting that the buyer is Mark Walter, the CEO of TWG Global, and the price is $10 billion. We're talking about it on your home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Hey guys, have you checked out the all-new Park West Bicycle Casino? Just 9 miles from downtown LA and near the 710 freeway, it's completely reimagined with new ownership, renovations, and upgraded amenities. We're also home to California's largest card room jackpot ever, $3.7 million. New players score $30 in match play when they say, Cappy sent me. Park West Bicycle Casino. Come see what everyone's talking about.
Please gamble responsibly. Problemgambling.ca.gov. 1-800-GAMBLER. GGR 001291. GAR 001292. PSIS license number 1358.
This is the city, Los Angeles, California. It's 5 p.m. in the Southland.
Turn it up, man.
Time to blow that 5 o'clock whistle with Sedano and Cappy.
That's right, it's the 5 o'clock hour on Sedano and Cap. And it's time for 30 minutes non-stop.
Sedano and Cap on 710 ESPN.
With fun and frivolity, tomfoolery and hijinks, and Cappy doing his thing, thanks to our friends at Real Father's Rights. Real Father's Rights, the father's rights attorney.
Visit RFR710.com or call 833-ESPN-710.
Let's do it, 5 o'clock in the Southland.
30 minutes of non-stop Sedano and Cap starts now.
You ready for this?
And time for the Real Father's Rights 5 o'clock hour on 710 ESPN. Let's do it, Jack!
I got my brand new bass that Jake Guido sent me.
408, excuse me, 508.
Come on, man, get the time right.
On a Wednesday afternoon, Sedano and Cap.
I'm going to lay down in the bed.
The LA Afternoon Drive takeover on YouTube, so you can see Sedano lay down in the bed. Although, no, we don't have YouTube today.
No, Wi-Fi's still not working.
Wi-Fi's not working. And Sedano's caught in a storm, but he's coming on the air because today is a historic day in all of Los Angeles history, not just sports. Jeannie Buss and the announcement earlier today that she is selling her 66%, the family's interest, the Buss family, to essentially the Dodgers and Mark Walters of that investment group. And this will take control out of the family and really into another family, the family that have made the Dodgers so successful the last few seasons and brought 2 World Series to L.A.
Right.
Just point of information, since you were always correcting me with Stanley Cup Finals versus Stanley Cup Final. My understanding it's Mark Walter, not Mark Walters.
I said Walters? I apologize to Mark Walter.
Please apologize to the gentleman.
I apologize.
There you go.
We're taking your reaction, 877-710-ESPN. Tonight at 6 o'clock, we will not go off the air from LA Live. Beto Duran and Andy Kamenetsky will continue with a special edition of Lakers Talk, taking your reaction all night long and giving their insight to what really is the biggest story in decades. Sedano mentioned it before we took a timeout, but you're going to remember, as we're saying in the promo, you're going to remember where you were the day that you heard that Jeannie Buss was selling the Lakers.
Yeah. I would also say, George, your question about is this the biggest sports story in L.A. in however long? You want to say a decade, you want to say 20 years?
By the way, so do you want to know how I found this out, officially? I was in the hotel, and I'll just say an ESPN personality came to me and said, not a personality. Technically, this person is a boss. And she said to me, hey, what time's your radio show in L.A.? And I said, 3 o'clock, so it's going to be 6 o'clock here. She goes, well, you're going to have a lot of fodder today. And I said, what? And she said to me what was going to happen and when Shams was going to report it. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, when you think about it, other massive stories, and I'm not even talking about the Dodgers win the World Series, the Lakers win a championship.
No.
Forget about games and results. In terms of biggest stories, prior to this, the Lakers being sold, I'm going to throw out that maybe we got to go back to probably 2015-ish when the Rams moved from St. Louis to L.A.
Yes, I remember making promos about it.
Really?
But it was also something that we knew about a day or two ahead.
Yeah.
That we had everything prepped.
Yeah.
But
right. This was me literally calling Chris right as soon as I had
this conversation. And he was on the phone deep throat hey, I can't tell you. But
no, it was serious. I was careful of who the hell was around me. I was
yo, the Lakers are being sold.
And then I'm where's
you need
Cappy?
to get things ready.
Because Cappy left. We had lunch.
He disappeared.
We had lunch. We walked into the lobby. He goes, I got to go to my car downstairs. I'll be right back. I said, okay, I'll see you upstairs. Then for 25 minutes, we couldn't find him.
No, I went across the hall.
I even called you after I called Chris.
I went across the street. I went across to the East Central because I had to do a couple of things. And
You have to go to the bathroom?
No.
No scraper?
No scraper at that time. I'm usually a morning scraper. Yeah. And truth be told, from 1:30 till 2 o'clock, I laid down and I fell asleep. I set my alarm for 2 o'clock. I fell asleep.
You took a nap,
for
didn't
20
you?
minutes.
You took a nap,
You're
didn't
so
you?
proud of me, man. Yeah,
Chris is right. I was in the lobby, so I
Yeah.
was very careful as to who I was. I found a corner. I was I need to call Chris to let him know because the station needs to know. And then and then all of a sudden Bergman's calling me. I'm like, why is Greg calling me? He's like, I'm guessing it has to do with probably what you're saying. So I pick up and I go, yo, I already know. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, I just wanted you to know. I go, yeah, I know.
Well, the funny thing is that George called me, and when I woke up, I saw that he had called, and then I checked my text, and he was like, Cappy, you should have answered your call. You know,
you would have been in the loop. You would have known when everybody knew.
I know,
at
but
the
I
beginning.
don't. But I had somebody had sent the Shams text or the Shams
Right,
tweet.
you had been asleep while
Yeah,
that happened.
right.
Yeah,
So-
and then when you were like, why? So, and George goes, well, what did you think I was calling about? Your walk with Chris?
I know. It wasn't about the walk with Chris. I thought you wanted to know what we were talking about while we were walking and talking.
I know we
I also think the funny thing was I called McMiniman, and I rarely call McMiniman, right? So, when I found out, and he's like, I'm guessing I know why you're calling. And I'm like, yes, I just want to know when you can come on. That was it. It was
And he
just
came on during
Did you
Super
guys
Crosstalk.
get in the cone of
Yeah.
silence, like in Get Smart, where you both are telling each other secrets? Like, don't say it out loud.
No, you never know who's around. You know what I'm saying?
understand.
I
No.
learned that. I've learned that. You never know who's around, so you gotta speak in code.
You know, it is the biggest story. We were all sitting here saying it's probably the biggest story since the Rams moved back to L.A. But what's great about this story, I think, at least from my own
Actually,
position.
no. Let me correct that. I think the night that Magic quit might have been.
Oh, that one was pretty
what was
epic.
What was the
yeah.
year of that? What was
I was on the air when that happened.
2019?
Okay, yeah,
2018?
Yeah, I'll never forget that. I was doing the show in this time slot, and I was like, and all of a sudden, Mike Pearson, who I love, was producing the show at the time.
Yeah.
And he says to me, dude, Magic just quit. I'm like, what? And he's like, I swear to God, we're watching it. We're putting on Spectrum right now. And I just said, pot it up. Just go. Forget it.
And
it
stayed
was
on
crazy.
We went live and local all night until the morning show the next morning.
Yeah. So Magic quitting, that's a good one. The Rams coming back. I don't think the Chargers had any near impact of any kind when they moved to LA. They haven't made impact until they hired Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
And
then they'll win the Super Bowl.
Well,
It'll drive you nuts.
I still don't think so. But listen, I know it'd be good for the show.
I mean, I'm not saying this year. I'm just saying eventually.
Yeah.
Jeff Fisher getting fired was pretty big because the Rams were new and the Rams were horrific and everyone knew something.
Do you remember when
done.
Sean McVay first came into studio with us?
Yeah.
When he got hired?
Yeah, and he was all suited and booted.
Yeah. Rams are over doing this mini camp right now in Hawaii. It looks great. I mean, they're doing a ton of social media. But in the end, I just want to say this. I think this is a great thing for the Lakers. They have been a family-run operation forever. But when Dr. Buss bought this team, it was a completely different economic situation in the NBA. And I think that Jeannie and her family, to their credit, have done a very good job of this is their asset. This is their wealth.
Right.
You know, they're not, construction people who build hotels and build condominiums, and this is a toy for them. This is where all of their wealth lies. So to take that money to say, hey, look, my dad bought this team for $67 million way back when, and I now
had
have
to
a
borrow for it.
Right, and I have
leveraged everything.
I have a chance to sell this team for $10 billion. Wouldn't my father be so proud of me that we've held on to this asset for so long? We've cultivated this brand for so long, and now we're not only selling it, but we found our natural acquirer who took on 20% years ago, and now he's ready to pay us 30% more than our Forbes valuation from a year ago, which was $7 billion, and they're buying it at a valuation of $10 billion. So all I can say is this: congratulations to Jeannie and all of her family, because
Mazel tov.
Absolutely. Because, George, you see other family-run businesses. I'll use the Chargers as an example. They're selling pieces. They're not selling 66% and essentially controlling interest. They're selling chunks because they're trying to take cash off the table too, but they're similar. They're a family-run operation.
Well, they need a cash infusion.
Big time.
A big-time cash
Big time. Yeah.
877-710-ESPN. Let's bang a few phone calls here as we take your reaction.
All right.
Cap,
Here
go
goes.
ahead.
This is Vince in Fontana checking
what's
in.
going on?
Sedano and Cap.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. I love your screener. That's what I wanted to talk about. But since you took the words right out of my mouth, We might as well get to business. Get rid of Pelinka. Get rid of Ramber's wife. Bring the Magic fold back, like the ex-players. Get them involved. We got to bring the atmosphere back.
You got to bring the Showtime back, is what you're saying.
Bring the Showtime guys back and let them help. You know what I mean? Now, you don't have to be the coach. Let them help. But you got to get rid of Pelinka. He does not know what he's doing. The curse is over. You shouldn't have never messed with Jerry West. I'm going to leave it just like that. The curse may be over.
Interesting. Okay, should never have messed with Jerry Buss. Okay, all right.
I mean, curse, they won a championship in 2020.
I thought he said Jerry West.
He did say Jerry West. Excuse me. Jerry West wanted to come back in the fold, and they chose to not do that.
All right, here's a call from Steve in Ventura. What's up, Steve?
The previous caller took the words right out of my mouth. I wish Jerry West was never let go. He's a Laker legend, and just want to make sure his name doesn't go unmentioned through all of this. The Buss family, they've done a lot of great things, but I'm pretty sure Jerry Buss would have never wanted to have Jerry West let go. And I am sure that he would have brought more chips than what we've seen in the last 10 years.
All right. There's another caller about Jerry West. Yeah, I know a lot of Laker fans obviously did not love what happened between Jerry West, this current iteration of ownership. I'm trying to remember the story exactly, like when he lost his season tickets, so to speak. He still had tickets that were kind of grandfathered in, and then I don't remember the exact story.
Right,
yeah,
yes.
but
the access was removed.
Right, and then he went to the Clippers and whatever else. So, yeah, I can understand that, but I'm not 100% sure I understand why today's the day to bring that up.
Yeah, I don't either, to be honest with you. Like, listen, Jerry West is the logo. Jerry West is, one of the greatest Lakers of all time, one of the greatest players of all time, one of the greatest architects of all time. No one is denying that. I feel like I understand to some extent wanting to make sure that, when we talk about this monumental moment, that his name is at least discussed for a brief moment, because again, he was all those things I already mentioned. But yeah, I don't necessarily feel like, while I agree with the caller's positions in the sense of I don't feel like he was probably treated with the amount of respect that you would think that he deserved. But I don't know how the relationship truly floundered, okay, and truly dissolved to that point. So I'm not going to comment on something that I don't really know, or even know I don't even know like a secondary story about it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know like a secondhand story about it other than what just has been written, which has a lot of holes in it, is what I would say.
Here's a couple more calls. This is Andy in L.A. checking in on Sedano and Cap. What's up, Andy?
Hey, guys, long-time listener, first-time caller for your show. I'm excited that the Lakers did, make this move, and I'm glad that Jeannie needs to stay on. But I disagree with some of the other callers as far as, like, Magic being involved. Please don't have him come in and be president of operations or GM or none of that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Magic, I love Magic as much as the next guy, okay? But Magic didn't love the role, wasn't necessarily good at the role. Like, that is not who Magic is. Magic is great being Magic.
Yeah, Magic has, and listen, I'm not intimately involved.
Capable of trading AR for Lonzo Ball. Like, that's what I think he'd come in and do. Like, we don't need him. Let this new ownership group do something new with this franchise, take it to a whole nother level with the new franchise player that we have.
Magic
and what
got
I would
so much
add,
going
what
on,
I would
man.
add
He don't
is,
want to be a basketball executive.
Right, no question. I mean, he clearly said, I don't want to do this anymore, famously. So, and thank you for the call. What I would just add to that is Magic is great at being Magic, and what I mean by that is he's the perfect consultant. He's not someone that you want to give all the power to, which I don't think – I think in retrospect he would agree with, that he doesn't want all the power because that's why he walked away from it. And I just think because there's a lot of chefs in the kitchen when you're running an organization. It's not just because you have the quote-unquote president of basketball operations title doesn't mean you don't answer to people or at least collaborate with people.
I think that Magic is a great brand ambassador, given his extensive history, not just as a player, et cetera, but I also think that Magic is a great brand ambassador for the Dodgers, now for the Washington Commanders. Right. And his business, all of what he reaches, That's what Magic does. You can't give up all that he's doing to immerse yourself in basketball when you've got as much going on as he does. So I'm with the caller. No need to bring Magic back to run anything. Here's Al in Lakewood. Al, you're on Sedano and Cap. What's going on?
What's up, gentlemen? I'm curious. I'm excited about the move, but I'm also curious to see how this affects LeBron James in the near future. I know there's some feeling that maybe Jeannie Buss had a pretty strong relationship with him, so will this give the organization an opportunity maybe to move on or just explore other avenues and there not be holding to LeBron?
Dave McMenamin was on earlier and doesn't believe this changes anything.
I agree with that. I don't think
so.
It
For the
changes
people
anything
that feel like
short-term.
this is amazing, all this money's coming in. It's kind of like the scene at a casino in the county. All the money's rolling in, place is looking good, but nothing's changing.
Yeah, and I think that not only is Jeannie, at least today, it's being announced that she'll remain on as governor, which means, she's going to represent the team at all the league stuff, and she's theoretically in charge. But, George, I don't think that this changes the organization's game plan for next year, which I think is we're just going to let me rephrase it. LeBron will be part of the team next year, and I think that's the way the Lakers look at the upcoming season, and I don't think anything changes on that. I don't think anything short-term really changes. Do you think there's any chance that new ownership means there's no more LeBron?
No, I don't think it has anything to do with that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Cap, DeAndre was saying during one of the breaks.
Tell me, DeAndre. Talk to me.
He goes, is it gonna impact? Is this sale gonna impact the team this offseason? Do you think anything's gonna be any different at all this offseason?
I don't think so. I think everything runs as is going forward. All that's happened here today, again, just an opinion, but all that's happened here today is a financial transaction. Jeannie has sold her share, and the family has sold their share. And at some point, there's going to be a wire transfer, and she could be sitting right now at her laptop.
Transfer.
Right, she could be sitting at her laptop right now, refreshing her Chase account, going, "When's it going to hit?" Oh, it just hit. Oh my goodness!
Cappy's been there.
Hey, everybody, come in here. Look at all these zeros. And all that's happened here today, at least based on what I can tell, everything that we're reading, this is all happening in real time, George, is that this is a financial transaction. It's not really a transfer of ownership and control.
I heard that Mark Walter, not Walters, but Walter, threw in an extra $1 billion because of Bronny.
Oh, really? Is that right?
You guys got Bronny James? I'll put in another bill.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I'll throw in another bill so that you guys can get Bryce James after 1 year at Arizona.
I'm sorry, too easy.
Yeah.
525. We are commercial free as we react. We got calls?
We will have calls. Lindsay is currently in the screening process.
Well, I see one on there. Bang one for me.
You want to bang without screen?
No, I see it on the other line.
I don't see that on my screen.
Well, then never mind.
Okay.
You're so difficult.
Very difficult. Diva, if you will.
Yeah.
No doubt. By the way, this whole thing, I'm going to talk about being a diva.
By the way, Beto and Andy coming up at 6 p.m. tonight.
And that impacts me because this sale happens today. I am going to the Dodgers-Padres game tonight.
Yes, sir.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
We needed somebody to be on the air tonight with Andy.
Yeah.
Greg and I have to produce and run the board because we can't ask everybody to do more work on top of a full day already. So we couldn't be on the air and run the board and do all that.
Right.
So we needed Beto to pinch hit here.
And Beto's the perfect guy. Andy's the perfect guy to have in here tonight starting at 6
but
o'clock.
Beto was supposed to go to this baseball game
Not
with you
just
tonight,
go
the
to
Dodgers game.
not just go to the baseball game. Beto was driving.
Oh.
Beto got the parking pass.
Okay.
So Beto's now out. So I said to DeAndre, I said, hey, would you like to go to the Dodgers-Padres game with me tonight?
Which, DeAndre, I was in the office when you first brought it up, and he was not biting.
He was not biting at
wasn't
all.
biting.
No, it's true. He wasn't. And then he went like this. He goes like this. He goes, I don't know that I'm exactly dressed for it. And he looks down. He looks down, and my man is wearing an Angel shirt.
People hit me up talking about, you're an Angels fan?
I go, no, you're dressed perfectly for this game, right? We'll walk in like two Angels fans tonight. We just happen to show up at the game.
And this is part of of course, earlier, Mason and I went on quite a day. We're broadcasting live from somebody's house in Thousand Oaks because that gentleman, had won the auction for CHLA Children's Hospital Los Angeles, our Make March Matter campaign, for that experience. And then the winner tonight is going to the Dodger game with you. And he's very excited. A nice young man, excited to meet you, Cappy.
Have you? Do you know this young man's name?
I don't know his name.
Do you know anything about this young fella?
I don't. But
really?
I know that him and his family bid.
Yeah.
And
He's a big fan of you. He's a big fan of DeAndre.
Yeah, he's excited
Big
about
fan
it.
of the show.
D, you got to
He-
be nice.
He watches every day on YouTube.
D, you can't be mean.
He's like the nicest
Hey.
person here. What do you mean?
Cappy, you want to encapsulate how maybe some of the audience is feeling? You want some thoughts real quick?
Sure, go for it. Is this all coming from the Circle of Trust?
No, this is from my guy Mel, who owns Tropicana Bakery. He
Okay.
says, as a Laker fan for 40 years plus,
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy for the Bus family and feel great they sold for that price.
Mm-hmm.
It shows how big the Lakers are to sports, not just basketball. But feels kind of somber because it's the end of it's the end of the watch for the Bus family.
It is, and I understand why there's that somber feeling, because here's the other part of it, George. A new reality is happening in pro sports, which is the families. We're talking about the Bus family today. I made a comparison earlier, the Spanos family. These families get to a point where they actually can't afford to be in this anymore. Think about Mark Davis. If Mark Davis had not moved the Raiders to Vegas, and how did he move the Raiders to Vegas? Bank of America gave him a massive, massive loan. The city of Las Vegas and the state of Nevada all had their piece of that pie. And it's not like Mark Davis said, you know what, I'm going to go build a $1.5 billion stadium in Vegas. Everybody helped him do that because Mark Davis's wealth is all tied in the Raiders. The Spanos family's wealth is all tied in the Chargers. The Bus family wealth was all tied in the Lakers. Unlike, for example, you look at the Rams ownership, okay? They are exceptionally wealthy people in other businesses outside of the Rams.
But not just that. I think one thing about the NFL that makes it a little different is the TV contracts are so lucrative that everyone's making so much money that their investment into a team, a lot of them are families going way back, and they've made so much money on just the NFL team that they can continue to own and operate at a level because that's what makes the NFL, and that's what's always made the NFL incredible.
Yeah.
Right?
But if you took Mark Davis as an example, outside of football, and you're right, he's making a lot of money inside of football.
Right.
But outside of football, he doesn't have what many of these other owners have. So when you have these classic families, the Rooneys who own the Steelers, the Maras who own the Giants, when you have these legendary families, the Clark family, the Hunt family rather, in Kansas City.
Yes.
These are like the families that owned it and passed it down generationally. But now you're getting to a point where, like Jeannie is doing, you're like, I've owned this for a long period of time. It's worth more money than I ever imagined it would be worth. Now's probably the time to take my money and hand it off to people that I feel comfortable with handing off this sort of community asset to.
I get that, but in the case of the Dodgers and the Lakers, you had McCourt could not compete at the level. I mean, he was basically bankrupt and had a lot of issues going on. So they had to move on, and they moved on to the Guggenheims, which worked out incredibly. We talk about it and have hinted at it, even though we kind of tap dance around it, that the Jeannie Buss couldn't necessarily, and the Buss family couldn't compete at the level that now the NBA is at. So she almost had to make this move to be able to be at that competitive level, to be able to do all the things that the Dodgers we've seen do and all these other NBA teams. I just think the NFL is still a little different because of the amount of money from the television contracts.
I understand, but look, just I use the Chargers as an example. They're selling off a chunk of the team, a significant chunk of the team, because they're doing the same thing. They're taking cash. They're saying, hey, look, I own this percentage, but if I sell this percentage, everybody in the family, the brothers, the sisters, the grandchildren, the nephews, the nieces, everybody gets instantaneously more wealthy. So we're still going to be in control. We're still going to have the larger percentage. But if we sell 27% at a valuation of $5 billion, we can generate $1.25 billion. I mean, and that's the other reason why the NFL, just by the way, is opening up the opportunity for private equity to buy pieces of these teams so that these owners, especially legendary families who want to hang on to them, can generate cash.
Well, that makes sense. Absolutely. And listen, at the end of the day, the Lakers are insanely valuable. They're going to be even more valuable. And once whatever plays out with Jeannie and how long she remains the governor and in control and Rob and all that, here's the thing. For years to come, the next decades and decades and decades, the Lakers are going to be highly competitive because of the backing of Mark Walter and the Guggenheim Group. And we'll see how much Magic's involved. I think we all know he's going to be involved on some level, whether it's just being the face of things like he has been with the Dodgers. It's all very exciting. There is still, listen, how many documentaries and docuseries came out about Dr. Buss?
Yeah, and not only documentaries and docuseries, but even like just, sitcoms, because the Lakers are so famous that, you can make things about them.
So there is a little somberness,
yeah, I think
and there
so.
has to be when you think of the memories of Dr. Buss being the guy and the Forum Club and all these things that have been associated with the Lakers. And by the way, he was a gambler in the sense of he leveraged everything.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Leveraged
Took
everything
so much
to
risk.
make the Lakers what they are. And that's what we always go back to is when Jeannie would get up there and say, "This is my dad taught me this," and my dad would be so proud of this. I think her dad would be pretty proud of the return on investment.
Yeah, right.
From his $67.5 million to now a $10 billion evaluation.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It really is. So, hey, I want to just talk to everybody about, you talk about making money, right? I don't know if I could turn $67 into $10,000.
You could, Cappy.
But I'd like to take my chances.
Cappy, you a freak, as somebody once said.
I would like to take my chances.
Cappy,
you a freak,
You know,
man.
Exactly
when Keyshawn was like, I don't have enough money for it to make a difference.
I was going to go into it,
You're
but I
right,
didn't
and
think
I was
needed
actually
to.
thinking like, well, actually, if you
but-
did put that much in, you could probably quadruple your money at the very least.
But I asked Keyshawn.
He don't got a bill, though.
No, but I said to Keyshawn, would you only get into team ownership if you have like your hand in control? And that's kind of what he was saying is like, I don't want to invest in something that I don't have control of, because if Keyshawn wanted to take $250,000 or $500,000, I'll have him owning a small piece of the Charlotte Hornets in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, you have owning a horse somewhere, a big horse.
But I'd like to turn
a horse with a big schwanz.
The horse. I'd like to turn $67 into about $10,000, and I might be able to do it at the all-new Park West Bicycle Casino. As a matter of fact, they've got a jackpot going on right now. Park West is the home to California's largest card room jackpot ever. It's a record-setting $3.7 million. So let's get all the new players down there and go get a piece of that action. And you get $30 in match play when you come into Park West Bicycle Casino. You go to the player reward desk and you say, Cappy sent me. And I'm telling you, they slap $30. It's 10, 10, 10. They slap $30 on you. And by the way, you're going to get that picture. I'm going to be pointing right at you like, hey, I'm glad you came down here to the Park West Bicycle Casino, LA's premier destination for table game action. Only 9 miles from downtown LA. New ownership, fresh upgrades, renovated spaces. The hotel rooms are incredible. The food is great. I'm telling you, come on down to Park West Bicycle Casino. Real cards, real prizes, real close.
Lakers Talk Special Edition with Beto Duran and Andy Kamenetsky. All over the Buss family, selling the Lakers and taking your calls. 6 p.m. after Sedano and Kap on 710 ESPN. The all-new ESPN LA app and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Collectors, Promo Card Show is back at the Pasadena Convention Center on June 21st and 22nd. Biggest show ever. Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards. Plus Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. CGC and JSA will be there. So bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade, or get them graded. More than 500 tables, thousands of dollars in free prizes. Don't miss it. Promo Card Show, Pasadena Convention Center. Saturday and Sunday, June 21st and 22nd, 11 to 5. For more info, go to PromoCardShow.com. That's PromoCardShow.com.
If you've been thinking about selling your home and you've heard about Seller's Advantage on the radio or seen them around town, you might be a little skeptical, wondering if they're just another shady company trying to take advantage. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Seller's Advantage has been buying homes from sellers in Southern California for over 20 years. They hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and there's a reason they have some of the best reviews in town. Seller's Advantage will make you a competitive cash offer that can match what you'd end up with after paying for expensive repairs and agent commissions without the hassle of listing your home. Plus, they take pride in buying on your terms. If you want to sell your home, call Seller's Advantage for a no-obligation offer. 888-390-AS-IS. That's 888-390-AS-IS. 888-390-2747. Or, better yet, go to their website, sellersadvantage.com.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
And you'll never forget the day you heard the Bus family is selling the Los Angeles Lakers. ESPN Shamsharanya is reporting that the buyer is Mark Walter, the CEO of TWG Global, and the price is $10 billion. We're talking about it on your home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
Cut you a break, huh,
Give me a freaking break, will you?
No, you're not going to just wreck my plans for yours.
What are you two fighting about now?
Because he's trying to pull schemes. He's like, we made plans for next week's schedule.
Right. But he's
like, no, we'll just, cut me. I basically said, so you're not going to come up here Tuesday? And he's like, nah, cut me a break. I'm going on vacation on Wednesday. I said, so what? Your contract says you're coming in 2 days a week.
Yeah, right. But
cut me, and he goes, cut me a break, man.
Yeah, cut me a break, man.
5:38 on a Wednesday afternoon. Sedano Kap. Happy birthday. He turns 83. Paul McCartney.
83?
Yeah, it was a long time ago, man.
Damn.
The Beatles. The headline news, the A story. That's why Beto Duran and Andy Kamenetsky are coming up at 6 p.m.
Come on, Andy.
Come on, Andy. As they do Lakers Talk Special Edition, GD Bus is selling the Lakers to the Dodgers, essentially. And we're talking about it here on your home of Lakers basketball, 710 ESPN.
It's an amazing thing.
By the way, this is a big way for me to go out because today's kind of like my last day.
Mm-hmm.
Next 2 days, I'm staying at the Pacific Palms Resort. You know, a nice little staycation, Stephanie and I.
Nice.
So I need to get away, get that blood pressure back to down.
Yeah.
Because you've been raising it the last few days.
I don't know if I take all the credit, but
Gonna get in the spa.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna go to the restaurant, Red Restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they call it. Then play golf on Friday. Tommy's gonna dry up. Shouts out.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to bring Otis with you?
No, Otis is staying
That's
home.
something you should do.
No, the bunny doesn't travel. She's got her own deluxe room at the house.
Oh, really?
At
You can't get her a
house.
deluxe room?
No, here's the thing. The car ride will give her huge anxiety.
Oh, really?
Could honestly, the anxiety could kill her.
Come on.
I'm not joking. Bunnies are prey.
So the bunny's going to have anxiety getting in the car?
She's never been in a car ride other than like the car ride when she was a little baby and somebody brought her home. But that doesn't matter. My point being, I can't wait for the next few days at the Pacific Palms Resort.
Sounds great.
No, you've rattled me because of your antics. But let's get back to the A story. 877-710-ESPN. React on it. What does it all mean? Is it amazing? You know what I want to know? What does LeBron think of all this? Shinada, what do you think he thinks of it?
I mean, McMiniman, I asked him about that when he was on, and he says he thinks that business as usual. And if anything, LeBron's next aspiration is eventually to be an owner. What better person to learn from than Mark Walter?
That is true. And maybe get a little scratch, too. You know what I mean?
Well, you know that they're like rivals in business because LeBron is part of the Fenway Sports Group, who owns the Red Sox, and what is the soccer team?
Liverpool.
And then Mark Walter's team.
Walter.
I know, but I was saying like as in plural.
You're
plural. Mark Walter's his group.
His group owns their rival team, which is, I forget what it is because I don't know much about soccer over there. But
the opposite of Liverpool?
Chelsea.
Correct. Chelsea, yes.
Chelsea,
So
okay.
yeah, they're opposite.
Hey, man, LAFC just lost to them.
Really?
Yeah.
They did, actually, in that FIFA World Cup club soccer thing.
Really? They lost, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I didn't see it.
I mean, of course they were going to lose to Chelsea.
What was the score?
I don't.
2-0.
None of us know.
Oh, it was 2-0?
No, it was 2-0.
Oh, okay, 2-0.
2-0.
Hey, man, what are you saying? You
It was
don't know.
2-0, dude. 2-0, just so you know. As far as LeBron goes, I think LeBron, the basketball player, Not LeBron, the business guy, not LeBron, the investor in the Red Sox and Liverpool, and LeBron who has aspirations of eventually owning an NBA team. Obviously, everybody kind of points to Vegas and says, when they expand, he'll be the guy. I think LeBron, the basketball player, would think to himself, this is just my thought, George, you've talked about the off-the-court stuff that the Lakers don't necessarily do better than other organizations around the league.
Right, they don't have as robust a staff.
Right,
yes.
So let's just say...
Now, Ramona says that's because, Rob is used to being a lone wolf, this, that, and the other. Maybe that's part of it.
I don't buy it.
But I only think that's probably a portion of it, if I had to guess.
Yeah, so now let's just say this. You ready? Let's say the basketball team costs, I'm just purely making up numbers here for argument's sake. Let's say it costs $100 million a year for the team, players, trainers, coaches, and the number's bigger, I'm sure. But just for argument's sake, it's $100 million. On the other side, all the stuff that you need to do to support the team as best you can, let's say they were spending $10 million, just hypothetically, for round numbers. Now, what you might have is you might have a budget that goes from $10 million to $50 million. And now you've added a lot of people, whether it's scouts or analytics experts or assistant coaches or more trainers or chefs and better food at the facilities, or maybe it's an upgrade to facilities. My guess would be that the real benefit of having an owner that has this sort of wealth and also this sort of championship experience is that there'll be greater investment into how to create championships off the court. And I think that's probably the most exciting part of it. I don't know that everybody sees it immediately and it translates per se, but it's probably the most important part.
Maybe they got ahead of things, and that's part of Luka's new training regimen.
Well, that's
Who was
good.
that in the background?
Yeah, who was that?
Well, Andy Kamenetsky's just walking in. A-Cam is just coming back.
Come on, Andy.
My man was here. He's pulling double duty today. He was here earlier today with Travis.
Oh, did he do a show with Travis earlier?
He did. And I came in earlier, George, to reprimand Travis Rogers.
I heard about the Trudell thing.
About his criticism of the roster that I drafted.
Yeah.
And Andy told me.
God, you somehow always work every show somehow about the softball game. It's remarkable to me. The biggest day in LA sports history, one of the biggest days, and you somehow were like, you know what, I'm going to sneak it in here about your crappy softball team.
Let me tell you something. You're ending the show very similarly to the way you started it.
How about that?
And Cappy's going to kick you in the teeth.
I am. Today's the day I actually beat you up, I think.
No, I don't think it is.
Today's the day I wrestled you to the ground. No, today's the day. Now that you're good, now that you're alive.
Man,
I'm not
You're
good.
good.
I'm not
Now
good.
that you're good.
We don't get the results of the Echo till Monday.
Oh, really? Okay, then
Cappy,
I'll beat you up.
Cappy,
yeah.
Be honest. You were not happy to start the show today.
I was very unhappy because here's the thing. Because
we don't love an unhappy Cappy.
No, you want a happy Cappy. I was very unhappy. Because here's the thing. I actually have some information, and not about this transaction,
Here we go.
but
go ahead. You act like you're Rick Horrow over here, the sports professor.
I am the sports
Rick
professor.
Horrow.
I
I haven't
am
heard
Rick
that
Horrow.
name in
That's
forever.
right.
5:45. We take a timeout. We're back. Do we have a read here? No. Sedano and Cap on 710.
A Lakers Talk Special Edition with Beto Duran and Andy Kamenetsky. All over the Bus family, selling the Lakers and taking your calls. 6 p.m. after Sedano and Cap on 710 ESPN. The all-new ESPN LA app and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
The High Desert Beer and Wine Festival, Saturday, June 21st at the Palmdale Amphitheater. This Ticket Thursday on ESPN LA. We're hooking up listeners with 3 pairs of tickets to the tastiest party of the summer. Craft beers, fine wines, food trucks, and live performances from Eve 6. DJ DJ A1, and more. Tune in Thursday for your cue to call and win. The High Desert Beer and Wine Festival, June 21st, Palmdale Amphitheater. Don't miss it.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
5:48, Sedano and Kap, final segment. This is our final segment music this Wednesday afternoon. Time for the Dealer's Choice Real Deal. A man who knows about deals. Cappy, brought to you by Seller's Advantage. Want to sell your house? Before you call an agent, call Seller's Advantage. They'll buy it as is with a competitive cash offer. No repairs easy. I screwed it up, Cappy. I still had the post.
Still got it in. But you still got it in.
No repairs needed. They make selling easy. Call 888-390-AS-IS for a no-obligation offer or visit sellersadvantage.com, DRE 01961658.
All right.
Is your Dealer's Choice Real Deal today? Give them the music. Give them the music, D. By the way, Beto and Andy are coming up at 6 p.m. We continue tonight, maybe till 8 p.m., maybe till 9 p.m. We'll see how the calls go.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I've never gone back into that room to run the board from being in this room.
Right.
Usually I go from that room into this room.
Yeah.
So this is, I'm like doing a reverse position.
But this is like being Ohtani right now, where
So
you
you're
go
not going
from
to the
pitching.
pitching? Oh, no, now.
Now you're going to go hit.
I'm excited.
Yeah. I am too. Tonight, George, even though the story of the day turned into the Lakers' sale, let's not forget that last night, Dodgers-Padres game 2 of 4, and last night things got a little chippy because the Dodgers hit Fernando Tatis. The Padres came back and hit Ohtani.
And then Andy Pajes spanked the Padres in the booty.
Oh, he was unbelievable last night. I mean, Andy Pajes, I think he was 4 for 4 last night. I think he had 2 home runs was the number.
Yeah, he talked the bleep and he backed it up.
He sure
Twice.
did. He sure did. And Will Smith did as well. And, I mean, Ohtani had a one of his worst nights ever at the plate. I want to say 0 for 5 and 3 strikeouts. So
I think it's because they hit him.
Maybe. Did you hear the noise he made when they hit him?
Did you see the picture he posted?
Yeah, he posted this picture of
so funny.
Great picture.
Yeah, the still shot of him getting hit like on the outside of the knee. But when he got hit, he made this like noise. You could hear it on the broadcast. Like, ah! Seriously.
I need to find that now.
Seriously. And the best part of all of it, George, was Dave Roberts after the game. Dave is so great at like, it was like, well, they intentionally hit Ohtani. Yeah, of course they intentionally hit Ohtani because the Dodgers intentionally hit Tatis, the same guy, Trevino, who a week ago,
It's called Tatis.
He hit Tatis last week in San Diego. Of course, everybody's hitting everybody. And as Manny Machado had said the night before, well, if we're going to hit somebody, we're not going to hit Andy Pajes. He's having a great season, but they got a lot of big dogs over there. We're not going to hit him. So when when the Dodgers hit Tatis, that's their number one guy. The Padres were going to come back, and they were going to hit Ohtani. That's their number one guy. So tonight, when I go to this Dodger-Padre game, it could be on. I mean, if the benches are going to clear, people say, well, if they were going to clear, they were going to do it last night. Maybe. Or
No,
maybe
they will
tonight.
tonight.
Maybe tonight it boils over.
I think it's just escalated each game, and now it's just going to erupt.
So here, I love it when it erupts. Here's the thing, George. So last night, we're having dinner at Lazy Dog downstairs, and the game's on. Then we say goodbye to Stephanie. Cappy and I go to the East Central so that we can walk on the treadmill and get our little walk in.
We had almost an hour walk last night.
And he's got the game on his phone. And I have the ESPN app open, so it's telling me everything that's happened. And Cap, even though I tell him I have it open, he doesn't realize it, or he just isn't paying attention. So he keeps giving me update every moment. Oh, another strike. Oh, there's a ball. And I'm like, I don't tell him to stop because he's so into it. And I'm really into it too. And it's an amazing moment. Did we lose Sedano or is he there?
No, I'm here.
Oh, I thought
George,
you were
I was doing
excited about
baseball play-by-play last night.
No, it was
I'm
amazing.
here.
I love it.
Yeah. We got done at the Lazy Dog. Chris and I, we were watching the Florida Panthers last night wrap up their second straight
around the
Stanley
Edmonton
Cup.
Oilers.
Just destroyed them last night. Winning their second straight Stanley Cup. And we got done watching the NHL, and then we went across the street to the E. That was a good workout last night on the treadmill. Very good
we had
workout.
4 miles this morning.
I will tell you, I don't usually walk that much, especially after dinner, but it is like a good, healthy thing to do. I freaking slept like a baby. I usually wake up 2-3 times a night to take a leak, but I'm telling you right now, last night, slept through the night.
I actually don't usually wake up now since everything, but I did wake up twice last night.
Not 2-3 times?
Just twice.
Just twice.
Yeah.
Not tree.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the nice thing is I wake up before my alarm now. Cappy says because Cappy always complains about hearing my alarm. And I'm like, well, why are you such a sensitive sleeper? You're in another hotel room and you hear it.
But we're sharing an adjoining wall.
Yeah, but my alarm's not that loud. It's super loud, actually. It's very loud. Remember back in the day when I was very overweight and it would go off? I had so many alarms.
Dude, I used to be in room 802. You were in room 820, and I could hear it down the freaking hall.
All right, the big news. Go ahead, Sedano.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. The big news, Jeannie Buss is selling the Lakers to the Dodgers, essentially. We're going to be on top of it and all over it with Beto and Andy. Beto coming in now. They will be on the air till 8 p.m. Maybe we'll go till 9 p.m. if it's really popping. You don't want to go till 9?
Not happening till 9, Beto? No? You got Dodgers? Oh, wait, you're going to come to the Dodger game? Wait, now you're not doing the show. Now you're coming with me to the Dodger. You have any idea how this screwed me up?
Oh, he's so mad.
Beto, this screwed me up so bad, Beto, because you were going to drive.
You guys are like throwing signs and all kinds of stuff. Where are you going?
Beto's coming to the A chair.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and Andy walked over there like he was going to take the A chair, and Beto's like, excuse me, Slim.
Oh, I like that move.
Turn around.
Well, I did put Beto first in the image because I figured he would drive.
Okay. Well, he was going to drive me to the Dodger game tonight.
Now he's not.
He had the parking pass. I text Beto. I go, Beto, hey, you're going to be on the air tonight. I go, can I get that parking pass? I'll Venmo you the money. He goes, no, I gave it back to the guy who gave it to me. So now I got no parking pass. Should I Uber to the Dodger game?
No, because you're dropped off. You got to walk a long way.
What do you think, Beto? What's your plan for me? What should I do?
Drive, Buttercup.
Yeah?
Yeah, and that parking pass, you know which one it is. It's the one right next to the stadium club.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if I'm not using it, I'm giving it back to that guy.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
Because I don't want to let him say, hey, I heard you on the radio. You're not here.
Right.
That
was smart. That was smart. I can appreciate
Super
that.
VIP.
I can appreciate that. So we had super VIP parking, and now I've got the opposite of super VIP parking, which is zero parking.
No. You got DeAndre, and I've shown DeAndre the ways of Dodger Stadium.
You have.
So he knows.
He's prepared.
He knows what's up. You're going to have a great time, man.
I'm looking forward to it.
You're going with are pretty cool people. I Googled them.
And DeAndre's got on an Angels t-shirt tonight, so we should be safe.
What's a tan t-shirt that matches his shoes? And DeAndre is a young guy, because young people can wear whatever they want when it comes to the team.
DeAndre is also big. That matters a lot. He's pretty much safe by
definition. So you know the secret we know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, my God.
Well, you guys
just
are
leaning into it, Just lean into it.
You guys are on.
If you lean too hard, it's going to hurt.
Why? Onto.
You got
Are
Beto.
you staying here today?
No. Oh, yes, I am. Yeah, no, I'll stay here tonight.
Okay, after the Dodger game, hit me up. I'll stick around.
Okay.
Oh, he's going to be so exhausted, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. That's why I offered.
Chrissy walked me this morning at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Like, I'm so tired, but I can't, man.
I know.
I actually thought about driving home tonight because it's so much easier at night when there's no traffic.
Do it.
But It's just,
do it.
by the time I get home, it'd be
Look, you're
midnight.
going to watch Ohtani hit a homer. You're going to hit your prize picks.
I am going to make my prize picks. Yep.
Going, man.
How many Dodger dogs are you going to have tonight?
Now, you tell me. Last time, well, me and Bergie, we were down in that Yamava club right behind home plate, and at the end of the night, they had like a surplus of Dodger dogs.
Right.
So I was like walking out with like 20 of them, you know?
But you don't have that tonight, baby.
Right, and those were free.
Yeah, these aren't free.
Right, so the answer probably zero.
So whose credit card did you get from the station?
My own, my credit card.
He's very upset about
I know.
this.
I said, Chris, pay for my parking. He goes, no, you pay for it.
Yeah, and then Lindsay tried to shake us down. She's like, somebody's got to reimburse Funchy. I'm like, well, it's not me.
Funchy got
I already
the,
paid for the Taco Bell experience.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, somebody gave me
And I was
$20
told,
now.
I was told that you only take cash.
Two Andrew Jacksons right
Yeah,
now.
he does only take cash.
You
That's
only
true.
take cash. Is
I
that
take
right?
Venmo.
Oh, you do take Venmo.
Yes,
Oh,
you wanna
I
go
will
share?
Venmo you.
It doesn't matter.
I'll Venmo you,
Call
Funchy.
Mark Walter. He'll take care of you.
Yeah. Hey, in the meantime, Beto and Andy, you guys come on the air tonight when we're not normally on the air live necessarily unless we're doing Laker Talk. And as Beto said, this is like one of the most important nights in the history of LA sports. So what a night to be on the radio.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Andy and I, we're going to reminisce about the days when Frank McCourt was there with the Dodgers.
Oh, yeah.
And the Guggenheim group came over.
Beto and I have seen some things, Cappy, you wouldn't believe.
You weren't there when you saw McCourt in the outfield taking pictures after he sold the team. Oh, yeah. So we're going to reminisce a little bit, but it's a lot of both of us talked to a lot of people.
This is a sea change moment for the Lakers. Like, things are going to be different moving forward.
Oh, wait, didn't you work this morning?
I
he
did.
did.
I thought I heard
He
you.
was on with Travis.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Sedano, are you still there through all this?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, beautiful. Thank you for all your help. And it was a great day.
Yeah,
and,
great day.
Be safe. Be safe in Indiana with that storm, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
All right, Andy and Beto next. I got to go sit in DeAndre's chair,
Andy.
and we're going to have some fun.
Come on, Andy.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah.
Oh, the wheels of
Great
steel.
job, Lindsay.
Let's go.
Great job, Funchy Lova. Amazing work, DeAndre. Chrissy, okay. And George,
You know what?
world class.
You scumbag. I hope you have to. I hope you charge up $300 on your credit card tonight at the
I'm
Dodger game.
expensing it to you.
No, you're not.
Yes, I
No,
am.
you're not because you don't know how to do it.
No,
yeah,
exactly.
true.
He doesn't. Beto and Andy are next. We'll keep talking about the biggest story in decades. The Lakers have sold to the Dodgers, essentially. We're talking about it on your home.